Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? IG's kicking in now. Hey, everybody, welcome. We got UFC 322. It is finally time. Today is the fucking day that we get to solve this Rubik's Cube that's been going on in our heads for months, weeks, ever since the card really got laid out. Throughout all the fight nights, this was the one looming in the distance. Just how many weeks until 322, And now we're finally here, the day of. So, uh, hope everybody does good on the card. Hope the fighters return safely, to their families. But nonetheless, we got a job to do. Keep these picks moving. Keep the bets rolling. Been doing very good. We're over 40 units year to date. And a lot of that just came in the last 3 months. So very, very decent year overall. 50 units is a great milestone, honestly, for the rest of November. And I think 322 is going to play a big part in that. So that's my goal right now. I'd love to cross that threshold for the first time in a year at least. Do 50 units. That'd be sick. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this card. Rolling through picks, locking things in officially on Topology. Sometimes I forget to do that. It makes me sad because I'll have 11 out of 13 fights or something, or I'm crushing methods, and I go and refresh. Oh fuck, I never even locked my bets in. I've talked about it all week. I recorded, a different pod, this and this and that, but sometimes I just don't get things locked in Topology. So I'm doing that kind of simultaneously as we speak and just putting it out there. I've opened up IG and a couple other streaming platforms, YouTube, Twitch. Anyone's welcome to roll through. Give me your picks, your opinions, all that, and we can discuss it further. Shout out to Dino and Dino over at 710 MMA, Dana Black, my boy Pro Schmo, Lethal. Thanks for having me on that collaboration this week. It took a while to get through the entire card, but there were some really good takes and opinions being thrown out there. So if you get a moment to check that out, it's on 107 MMA's YouTube page, and those guys absolutely fucking crushed it. So it was a pleasure being on. So thanks for having me there. I'm gonna work through the prelims here. I'm also gonna take a moment and do a quick share out since I just went live as well, and then we'll start right through the prelims, work up. We're gonna be placing a couple bets. I already have most of my main bets placed, but I'll be throwing some extras out there for some fun. So we're getting right into it. Yo, what's going on, Natan? Another usual coming back through. Yo, much love, much love. It ain't refreshing on IG for me. I was waiting for it to show me as a live status so I could help share it out to some groups that I'm part of. I figured might be interested. Wonder what that's about. I think I can send it out this way too, yeah. We'll do a couple of these boys here. We'll send it out like so. You also got Jared Lenny fighting Bare Knuckle. Let me look up what time that is. BKFC 11-15-25. Yeah, see, that shit starts at 6 p.m. also? That's the main card. All right, well, what about the prelims? And I think Lenny is actually on the bottom of the main card. Yeah? Let's see. Yeah. My boy's on the main card. My boy's on the main card. So, yeah, that'll be starting at 9 p.m. EST. So, my guess, because Bare Knuckle's so quick, 2 fights before he goes, according to the sheet. He'll probably be fighting around 9:45 or so. Set an alarm for 9 p.m. I'm going to have I'm going to be not even watching the fight at the comfort of my home for the first time in a minute too. I'm going to be at my local B-dubs. I'm not going to get Dana Black. I'm not going to get kicked out. I actually good rapport with my manager that's over at this location. A few years ago, there was an Abu Dhabi card. I was out with the girl. We were having lunch. I knew these fights were on. For anyone who has aggro and relationships, sometimes you have to go do shit during a fight. And so that was one of those. And I picked that place to eat because I knew there was a chance with ESPN this would be on. It was a fight night. And so the fights were live. I was watching my fight companion, but they weren't on the screens. Discussed it with the manager. They had no fucking idea they even could watch fights. They thought it was all pay-per-view based. They weren't really informed. Went over it with them. They started getting a lot of business. And then the manager became more curious for the pay-per-views because that was always the big draw, especially being like a college campus. And before you knew it, that place was thriving. So they're going to have the fights on for me tonight. Last time I did a fight with them, they gave me the poster. I went and watched this fight there with them. They gave me this guy. I went and got it framed. I expect there could be another poster tonight with Islam, JDM, Bullet, and Wei Lee. So the extra sprinkles on top, if you will, I'll take it. If they end up hooking me up, I'll absolutely fucking take it. But yeah, Jared Lenny fighting tonight, BKFC. He's on the fucking main card. So it'll be his third BKFC fight. He's 1-1. He's taking on a former title challenger in Daniel Alvarez. So wishing my buddy the best of luck there. But without further ado, let's just kind of do a quick recap. And we'll kind of talk about bets and things that we've decided here. So, all right. Prelims, you got Slava Claus taking on Matthias Camille. I think it was a consensus within our group with 10-7 MMA, Dana Black, Lethal, Shmo, myself. We were kind of fading Slava Claus. He's going to go out there and he's going to fucking fight for you. He's going to try for you, but it's been a very rocky, last 5 fights or so. And we've just seen him get clipped and hurt and struggle. He's not, he's not excellent in one particular area. And so people just kind of have their way. Someone will show up and be a better striker. Someone will show up and be a better grappler. So I don't see Slava Claus getting it done. And 75% of Tapology is riding with Camilo as well. Majority of them going 60% by decision. I don't mind that all that well myself because Slava, when he's grit, he is pretty tough. Next fight should be a body bag. You got Bangzer, Sursakayev taking on Eric. Eric's like, what was I gonna say? He's gonna come out and just get lucky with a shot. If he's gonna win this fight, it's because he got lucky and like clipped, just like Islam got clipped. Because Bangzer should be better in the striking, better in the grappling, but he can't take damage the best either. He gets very offensive. He gets very excited to hit the gas pedal, and we've seen him rocked in that Nolan fight. So, and that guy came in, I'm pretty sure short. I mean, he was a short nose step in too, so we could have seen what happens when you're cutting weight back-to-back weeks. You gotta assume that's part of some of this. But I mean, on top of UFC jitters, Sursakayev looked to be very human. But Mechanico shouldn't get this dub. It'd be probably one of the biggest upsets of the card if it hits. So, what's going on, Combat? Catching up on chat here real quick, too. Oh, shit. Dino and Dino, 10-7 MMA. Thank you. Yeah, the 10-7 MMA. Hell yeah. Give these guys a follow if you're in the chat. Absolute chads. They orchestrated the whole thing. Great stream. Took forever because of my yapping and the amount of us, but I thought we had good picks and, decisions and why we fell away. I see Bangser getting this fight done. His prop by submission was looking pretty good too, plus 600, but I expect he gets a knockout. This should be a striker's affair on the feet. If it does go to the ground, it's because maybe Sursakayev's meeting a little bit of adversity and is wanting to mix it. So I like the submission prop at plus 600 when this guy is such a high favorite. His knockout prop's like negative money. You're still too new for that, my guy. If you were a heavyweight knockout artist like Pavlich or Tom Aspinall, sure, we'll take that knockout prop, but not at this level and not being so new at middleweight. So staying away from the knockout prop there. adding the distance under 2.5 rounds, and the fight by submission as a nice little sprinkle as we move up to this next fight on the card. Angela Hill taking on Fatima Klein. Tough one, actually. I'm not going to just sit here and act like this is an easy, obvious pick. A majority of people and myself are still going to ride with Klein, but Hill is a little tricky despite her time, her age. She shows up and finds ways to accumulate points, standing control time, work in the clinch with the knees, and overall cumulative striking. She's got great cardio to outlast most of her opponents as they do kind of start to wear it down. So Hill, she's a bit tricky. She's definitely proven herself against tougher adversity, but she's also not winning all these fights either. And I think the thing with Klein you have to think about as well, losing to Jasmine Jasudavicius at the end of the day isn't the worst loss, because she's definitely still a top-ranked individual in her own regard. So Fatima Klein, not going to really touch props on this one. I expect she gets it done by decision. And yeah, I'll move up to the next card. This fight going to the judges. Lose it or pick it or leave it. That might be a good parlay piece for a finish prop. All right, moving up the card. Chepe Mascal taking on Pat Sabatini. There's a few of these fights on the card. There's going to be a certain key path to victory for certain fighters. I don't think Pat wants this fight on the feet. If he gets it to the ground, he's much more live there. He's got good jiu-jitsu. Chepe is a fucking motherfucker, though. He's going to come through. He's got hands. He can grapple. He can mix it. He can get scrappy. Sabatini, again, if he's got one shot in this fight, it's them both being dry early on. Everything he has, getting this fight to the ground. Otherwise, I see Chepe running away with it. 74% Tapology have him winning. 80% of those picks are by decision. I'm honestly not super convinced on a prop on this one. I could see Sabatini getting clipped. I could see Pat getting fucking absolutely clipped on the feet in this one, just not going to the judges. But I am going to stay away from it on distance, and I'm just going to enjoy this fight overall. I think Chepe is a plus money line, so the great thing about taking just a nice money line dog in a fight is if the live odds seem to flip in any way, you can guarantee yourself by making some money too, by betting both sides. But normally you need something more than a plus 100 or 200. You need like a plus 300 or 400, like a dog that sincerely showed up and is looking good, and now the favorite's dropped and is plus money in a fight. That's a fun way to just guarantee money, but if you expect that person still live in the fight. So, yeah, taking Chepe, moving away. Not going to go too crazy on that one. Next fight I have within 3 rounds. I have Kyle Dawkins taking on Mearshart GM3. Again, he's a problem on the ground. He's definitely got the number of submissions to show it. But when you can mix it and not just welt under pressure and get taken down so easily, and you can keep this fight on the feet, GM3 can get absolutely fucking clipped. He can absolutely get hurt, and his striking's never really been his best suit. He's one of those guys that even struggles to initiate the takedowns. Think about how much you've seen Mearshart just sit at range and try to find his timing and this and that. He's not really eager to go after that takedown either. It's like the situations unfold and he may find himself there, but he's never aggressively going after that. And Dawkins is one of these guys that can truly fucking mix it. He has his own knockouts. He has his own submissions. He's one of those finishers, and I love a fighter that I'm confident in to get the fight done whatever means necessary. Get the fucking job done however that has to be. So give me my boy Kyle Dawkins. I think this is an easy one, and I think he secures a finish here in this fight. Just in case GM3 pulls an upset, including in a parlay piece, fight not to go 15 minutes. You got UFC Pap wanting to tap in. Absolutely, brother. Come on through. Much love. Hope you're doing well, man. We'll move up this card. Follow along if you want to. Pull up some Tapology with me. Let's hear it.
What's up, bro?
Yo, how you doing? Long time no see.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, I know. How's it been? How's life?
Bro, been busy.
Yeah. Good shit.
I wanted have for the Protez Edwards fight?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's tough, man. It's tough because Rocky can show up in so many variants that we've seen, and a lot of what I've noticed with him is his confidence in his paneling and his weigh-ins and how he's looking. When Protest was sitting there challenging him, I felt in that moment I could see Edwards kind of submitting, just mentally. Protest, the way he was just kind of mouthing to him and just kind of envisioning what he's going to do to this guy, I didn't see Edwards kind of spout it back, and I needed that from Edwards. Edwards literally, as his coach says, light a fire under you, son. Like he needs something to push him, and Protest is not the guy to sit back at and be shot selective and whatever. Like he needs to be aggressive on the gas pedal and pretty much Ian Gary him. You don't need a finish, just win the points, win the control time. If he really thinks he's gonna sit there with a loaded gun like Protest and have his little chess match and be shot selective the way he's always been in the past, Leon Edwards does absorb shots. Leon Edwards does face adversity, and Protez is that guy who would actually put him out. So I see Protez actually flatlining the fuck out of Edwards in this fight. And that's my prediction.
Yeah, we had pretty much the same read because I'm like, man, I think Leon has proven that he doesn't have the best defense. You know, he's been caught in plenty of fights. He's been hurt by dudes that don't have power, like Diaz. And it's just like, we know Protez is a sniper. You know, he's super sharp and quick on the feet. He's got that insane power. Whether it be, you know, those spinning back elbows or just like a knee to the stomach, you know, something like that. That's just super dynamic and explosive. But the only thing that worries me about this is Leon's wrestling, because like
Yeah.
people kind of sleep on it, you know. Like he took down Kamaru Usman, best wrestler besides maybe Bilal at welterweight. Then he took down Bilal, so it's like the two best wrestlers in the division. Leon has taken down and showed that he could potentially, you know, show some dominance in that realm. And it's like when Ian Gary takes you down and controls you, I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah, no, you're on it because like for me that was the tough thing, and that was like the thing that I've kind of heard echoed throughout the week is like you got to remember Leon has really good wrestling, but he also just has his fights where he doesn't show up and present it at all. Like with even a fragment of the wrestling Leon presented in the fight with Usman, where the fuck was it in his defense against Brady? Where in the fuck was that fire? And that's where I'm trying to say for Edwards, I see that light is kind of fading for him at this very, very top level. And it takes someone very hungry like Protest to be such a problem that if he doesn't get after it and hit his own gas pedal to control where the fight goes and lets the fight be taken somewhere, it's not going to be in his favor. He's going to be taken to the shadow realm. So I agree with you 100% on the wrestling. If Edwards comes out and immediately gets a takedown, I'm also immediately pulling up live props and betting on Leon Edwards. Like I immediately will just say, "Yup, he's gonna do it. He's actually gonna come
I
out."
feel like if you're gonna take the Edwards side, it's all just decision.
Yeah.
Like I don't see him knocking out Protez, but then again, you know, even when he tried to wrestle against Sean Brady, I mean, Sean Brady is just a super crafty grappler. Like, you can't shoot on Sean Brady and be sloppy whatsoever, or else you're going to pay for it. And that's exactly what happened, you know?
Yeah.
The way that he reversed the position on Leon, it was just, I don't know. It was just Leon made like a sloppy shot, and it just led to, you know, his downfall in that matchup. What about the Wei Lee fight? Who do you have in that?
I got my girl. I got Wei Lee. I think Shevchenko, despite she is respectfully the champion of this division and not 10 pounds lighter, she has kind of had, I think, her best time in the octagon. She's had some impressive wins coming out too, like, you know, coming back and finishing the trilogy off with Grasso and Manon's very impressive. Like, she needed those very much, but Wei Lee hasn't really, like, yeah, she's had like her own moments where she didn't get a finish, and certain fighters have come back and had their own moments in fights, sure, but she truly is a loaded bullet too. Like, the question is, does Shevchenko have another bullet in the chamber? Because it takes someone like Shevchenko to threaten the kicks and make things interesting on the feet and not allow Wei Li to just come in, take the fight to the corner of the octagon, where I do actually favor her ability to get this fight to the ground on Wei Li's terms. And I'm not saying that, um, you know, Shevchenko doesn't have any grappling of her own, but man, Wei Li, for having this be kind of like a built-on skill set that she didn't initially come into MMA having, she's been very actually interesting to watch. And I think she's hungrier. You know, she has the thing to gain in this, whereas Shevchenko truly has only something to lose. The thing that both women want is to be renowned like one of the greatest women's fighter of all time. And I'm not going to sit here and act like winning this fight does that. It's still Amanda Nunes to me. But there's two beautiful.
Dana said that earlier this week, and I'm like, bro, we have Amanda Nunes just like waiting to come
Yep.
back against Kayla Harrison.
And that's actually what I was just going to add in to wrap up my prediction on this, is that it sets up two beautiful story arcs. Either you got to have a champ come through, much like Nunes, and be part of that list, or you got Bullet, who shows, like, against a very fierce competitor, hey, Nunes, when you're done and you're finishing shit up with Kayla Harrison, you need to run it back with Shevchenko. And I would love to see that rematch, because earlier in their career versus post-career could be a totally different fight. Totally different fucking fight. And if she can survive all the wrestling and bullshit from Wei Li, I would feel more confident that Valentina still has enough, you know, zap at the end of her career to make it a fight, even though I'd still pick Nunes all day in that. That's what I want. We're either going to witness something really fucking great or something really fucking great. So my heart's not broken either way in this fight. I'm going to enjoy it as a fan, but I fucking love Wei Li, dude. I got to go with my girl.
Yeah, I'm torn in it because I love Wei Li. I love like her personality. She's always so respectful to everybody.
Yeah.
And then when she's in the cage, absolute savage, just like completely flips the switch.
Yep.
But man, with Valentina though, I know MMA math never makes sense, but just seeing Rose Namajunas head kick Wei Li,
yes,
I'm like, dude, Valentina,
yes,
in my opinion, much more explosive than, you know, Thug Rose is. And maybe it doesn't happen, but maybe it does. I can see her, you know, clipping Wei Li, or I don't know, maybe Wei Li does want to try to wrestle in this, because she surprised me in the Tatiana Suarez fight. I honestly thought Tatiana was going to win that fight. Not on the feet, obviously. I thought Wei Li clearly had the advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that she just completely shut down Tatiana's wrestling like it was nothing, I was like, dude, this girl is a problem. Like, every time she goes out there, she just looks like another tier ahead than what she was the last fight, and then the last fight before that. So it's like she's very clearly progressing at like an unbelievable rate. And I don't know, man. Shevchenko, she just always gets it done. I picked her in the Manin fight. Everybody was on Manin from what I saw, at least. And I was just like, dude, if Manin can't, you know, manhandle her, because she's strong, she's very, you know, she's very dominant. Manin, like all her fights that she's, you know, had in the UFC up to this point, it's like she bullies girls.
Yeah.
And
I made the meme last time she fought. It was Princess Katana as Jazadivius, and Manin was fucking Goro, and man, that didn't look any more true in that fight. Had her doing a stinky leg. God damn.
I just think that this is one of those ones where it's like the size is going to play a little bit more into what, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have seen people talk about it a bit, but I just think that Valentina's size, moving up a weight class for Wei Li.
You think she'll be able to sprawl a lot of the wrestling?
Strong.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be strong enough to not allow Wei Li to really take her down. And I think that if it stays on the feet, I mean, like I said before, I saw Thug Rose kind of pick apart Wei Li on the feet. I can see Valentina just chopping the calf, like hurting her legs. I can see her just fighting from a distance and then winning a decision if she doesn't, you know, land like a crazy head kick or something. So
I'm glad we both respect the kicks, because I opened up by saying
I love Wei Li.
Yeah.
I gotta pick Valentina, you know, like I would love for Wei Valentina, she's looked like old Valentina when it really matters. And then, I think the Grasso fight was a fluke. I was kind of surprised when they rematched. The second time, I was kind of like, maybe she was a little worried about the grappling still coming from Grasso.
Yeah.
But then it was like at the Sphere. I went to the Sphere to watch that fight, and
Nice.
it just kind of like shut all doubts in my mind. Like, even though it was kind of a boring fight from like a entertainment point of view, I was just like, dude, this is dominance. Like, this just proved that Grasso's win was kind of a fluke, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Valentina was winning that fight before she got the rear naked choke. So, I don't know, man. I just think Valentina
the way that
shows up
yeah
in these big moments.
the way that fight kind of unfolded, I did think back at the time and compare it to Usman and Leon, because it's like Usman had this dominant win, the checkered line is right in front of you, and then boom, headshot, and Grasso one mistake, and then Grasso found the opportunity to take one of Shevchenko's notorious spinning attacks and just make it her kryptonite. So I expected the dominance of Shevchenko, but being such a Diego Lopez fan and team of Grasso at the time, I was kind of rooting for the torch to be passed, but happy in a way that it didn't, because at the end of the day, Grasso is not among the greatest of women's fighters, and Shevchenko's been there. She's been proving it time and time again. Ain't nobody filling out the fucking soul stones the way that Shevchenko has. So I was actually sad she lost initially, because man, I was like, hey, happy for Grasso if she pulls the upset, but I want to see this belt complete. I want to see all 8 of them stones slapped. Then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, Shevchenko, despite I haven't always been on her side in every one of her fights, she's always been, like you said, she finds a way to get it done and perseveres. And that's what makes this so hard, because Wei Li isn't used to, minus like very specific shots that put her out, mostly head kicks, anything top shelf, which again, can Shevchenko even do that still? You know what I mean? It's a really fucking tough one, and I played chess a lot in my head with this over the last few weeks thinking about it. I begged for this fight to be made before it was ever made, and now we're here, and I have just this feeling that Wei Li, it's because of the concept that she has so much more to gain from this fight. She's going to come out hungry, but if she cannot implement her wrestling and get this fight to the ground, Valentina all day. Valentina Shevchenko is a full martial artist with her Muay Thai and everything. It's just beautiful.
I definitely think the momentum is obviously on Wei Li's side.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, I don't know. I feel like if Wei Li loses, like, she's not going to catch a lot of flack for it, Like, it's a pretty impressive thing anyway to go up weight class and, challenge the current champion of that weight class. And I kind of, like, this kind of ties into the main event is I see a lot of people on Islam. I'm on JDM myself, but it's kind of like the same thing. Like, if Islam loses to JDM, like, no harm, no foul, honestly. I know a lot of people are like, oh, if he wins, it does so much for his legacy. But it's like, in my eyes, I rate Islam higher than Khabib just because I feel like the game has already it's progressed so much further than when Khabib was, at the height of his reign. And to see Islam go out there and knock guys out, to go out there and, submit guys, have complete dominance in the wrestling. Like, I do hold Islam higher than I held Khabib. And I also think he's like a way better personality as far as like he's funny.
Yeah.
Like, he's very witty. He's kind of like, he does have like the reserved, like, I'm a Dagestani. I just show up and do my job, and then I go back and I take care of my people vibe to him that Khabib had. But he also talks a little bit of shit, He's not shy to be like, oh, I'm just humble. I'm not going to say anything. Like, he will clap back, and I do like that about him. But I just think that JDM, man, I don't know, that guy has really impressed me so far since he's been in the UFC. Obviously, he's human. We saw that with the Gilbert Burns fight. Like, he was losing that fight up until he landed that knee. But I don't know. I can't see Islam making that big of a jump, 15 pounds. And being being able to keep that pace for 25 minutes at a heavier weight class when he was, gassing against Poirier late. It's either like he gets it done in the first 2 or 3 rounds, or I see JDM just completely obliterating him in 4 or 5. Um, and like the champ is the underdog. Like to me, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I have to just
It's
go.
yeah, it's crazy being the underdog when your opponent's coming up, not even just a traditional 10-pound weight class. Like he's coming
Right.
up 15 pounds, which plays such a factor. And this is why it's history, right? This is why Islam Makhachev, in my mind, and to your point as well, he's already surpassed and separated himself from Khabib Nurmagomedov. Undoubtedly, because especially he's part of the new generation of guys still. Like, if this fight with Ilya Tapora does eventually happen, which I really hope it does, it's going to be probably one of the best examples of what two guys, that have dedicated their lives to this journey look like against each other. And this is just like a new novel in MMA that we're still getting to see, which is why there's some good fights on this card as well. The Morales fight. I love Morales. I think this guy
Yeah, Morales.
is a fucking problem all day.
Man, I have Brady.
And Brady is a problem too. So throughout the card, you see guys like Edwards versus Prates, right? Old school, new school, very fun. But I like that we're actually getting two guys that we've been wanting in the welterweight to climb and show some of these prior vets. Like, hey, this is some of this new school shit. By the way, I think Morales, even if he loses this fight with Brady, he's so fucking young and he's so good now that there's no doubting this guy's ever going to become a champion. I think Morales will be a champion all fucking day at some
Yeah.
point in his career for sure.
If Morales loses, in my opinion, I think it's just going to show that he has that hole of can he deal with a very high level grappler, Like that's the only path of victory I see for Brady is, just absolutely schooling him on the ground. And I don't know, we've seen him, be taken down by lesser guys that aren't even in the UFC anymore. So it's kind of like, will Brady be able to get it there? Is the big question. If he can't, Morales all day. He's definitely gonna pick apart Brady on the feet. But if Brady gets it down and takes the back, or let's say he gets the full mount, like I could just see it going extremely bad for Morales.
Yo.
And then that might hurt him in the next year or two as far as his future matchups. Because like if he fights another striker, yeah, sure, he has a very high chance of winning. But if he fights another high level grappler or wrestler, it's like, what's going to happen? Like, let's say he challenges JDM in the future. Like, how does that fight go? JDM obviously really good striker, but we've also seen JDM does have good grappling. All the work that he's been doing with Craig Jones. There's definitely some big questions that'll be answered tonight. Whether or not Morales has that good defense on the ground. But oh man, I got to take Brady just because I respect Brady so much for accepting this fight because nobody wants to fight Morales right now. Like,
Yeah.
Yep. He's literally like the Grim Reaper in the background, the dark horse. Everybody is like, oh no, we don't see that guy. We're worried about Ian Machado Gary. We're worried about Leon Edwards. Nobody wants to talk about Morales because he's just lurking in the shadows right now, trying to earn that.
The welterweight lost their Shavkat and gained the Morales for sure. He's definitely the boogeyman right now in my opinion. And welterweight's the most stacked division bar none. And I think the question you have is one of the greatest things that keep our minds just turning like a Rubik's Cube all fucking week long for these matchups to finally unfold because there's too many unknowns in people's games when you haven't been able to see certain waters tested. So Morales off his back, Morales on the ground. What does this look like? I would love to fucking know because he's kind of like one of those young Tom Aspinalls that just goes out there and you don't get to see much of his fights because he just possesses the ability to get it done with his hands so quickly, his kicks. He's definitely got, he's got a good range and height advantage, but I worry also for the explosive training that Brady has going into this fight, where he's really felt himself level up on a whole new level, that Morales could be overconfident, and before you know it, we're getting that submission. So I'm absolutely fucking hammering distance no on this. I think we get a finish in the first 2 rounds, but it's either going to be, like you said, that submission from Brady, or Morales even further impresses us yet as he moves up the rankings 19-0, and he's got to be right there in that title conversation, if not, the one after. He's got one more from then, to fight another proven top-ranked guy. Brady, I worry because of that fucking TKO with Belial. I can't forget about it. I tried to like sleep this side, face the other way. I couldn't sleep last night. I was just telling myself, Brady is so fucking live to getting TKO'd and hurt, that even though he's got this great technical skill set that allows him to win fights, the fight does start on the feet, and it does start at range, and it doesn't start on the ground. So that's the only thing that worries me, is that Morales, of all fighters, has a good striker chance in this fight. The welterweights are big fucking giraffes. Brady's a little leprechaun, dude. He's fucking gamey. He's a little explosive. He could get sneaky. He could get this fight really in a weird position fast, and Morales is fucked. But we could also see Morales just bully the fuck out of him at range with some chopping leg kicks, something top shelf, something hurting Brady. And Brady never really gets to implement the plan. Either guy gets to implement their plan. I don't see this one going back and forth, where it's like, Morales gets back to his feet again and resets for the third, fourth time, or Brady gets hit with a big shot but continues the takedown. No, that big shot's either the knockout or the takedown is the submission. That is the story. Which one of these is happening? To your point, maybe Brady gets it done. So I respect the pick.
Yeah, with Brady, that is the big question. Obviously, is how's it play out on the feet. The only thing that gives me a little bit more, I don't know, I feel a little more at ease because I've seen some of his training footage with Joe Pyfer, and we know Joe Pyfer is a hard-hitting middleweight. Like, this guy has nasty power. And to see Brady, like, do well against, like, Calvin Gastelum, to see him do well against Gilbert Burns, like, on the feet, that fight against Burns was mainly on the feet, and he picked Burns apart on the feet, which surprised me because, like I said, Burns, granted he's older now, he's taken some recent losses. I still hold him very highly in the welterweight division, and I think that to see that Brady, like, never really got hurt at all on the feet in those, never really took, like, major shots. And then he's training with Joe Pyfer, and I've seen him take Joe Pyfer down like nothing. Joe is a big dude. Like, this guy is not small. I think he may be about the same height as Morales. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they're like right there at 6'2".
The guys that you gave examples of, they definitely have like large frames, very powerful. And definitely cases stronger than Morales. I think the thing that makes Morales a tricky opponent in his striking is his speed and his precision. He doesn't really throw winged shots. He doesn't really just put it out there. He's very measured in what we've seen from him. So I think it takes someone that has the skill set to push him and not let Morales fire his shots on his accord. Like, someone who can really bring it to him instead and make Morales, for the first time, basically a defensive fighter, if that ever exists. When this guy, much like Prates, getting to hit the gas pedal, measured, controlling your range, your shot selection, these new guys just happen to possess a lot of different things, new tools that are really finding holes and opportunities to knock someone out. And then also become a superstar because you're, you know what I mean? You just hit a fucking highlight first round knockout like that. And Morales has that aura to me. So it's really tough because Brady's style is the more proven style in this matchup. Brady's school, his tool set does more times than not perseveres what we know of Morales. So for anyone to act like they're going to ace this entire card on every pick, it's so tough because of matchups like this one. It's such a fucking bitch this week. So I got to go Morales because I've been the most impressed with his career, minus the hiccup with Belial. Brady's been pretty scary to watch also. So I got to go off that instinct and hammer from a betting perspective that we're not going 15 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I like that pick as well. That's probably when I'm playing, as well as probably sprinkling that KO, because I think the KO props like plus 300 also from Morales, and that's a pretty good number because I feel like
Yeah,
you were saying earlier, it's either Brady sub or Morales KO. You know,
agreed.
it's not going the distance. And
What?
if it does, it's going to be a boring. All right, Sean Brady's on him the whole 3 rounds, and Morales doesn't get submitted, but he also doesn't get off his offense. Um, and I was just looking at it. So Piper is actually like 2 inches taller than Morales. So
Okay.
I don't know, man. If Brady can take down Joe Pfeiffer, who's also a pretty high level grappler with ease, maybe he gets it done against Morales. But obviously, getting TKO'd on the feet by Bilal Muhammad isn't also a very good look. So
Question real quick.
yeah.
What do you think about the plus 420 for Brady submission?
I'm definitely taking it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sprinkling that. I'm probably gonna do like a round robin with submissions on the card.
Yeah, I could.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. Obviously, I think he could. I think he could knock out Kopylov, but I feel like his easiest path to victory is gonna be take Kopylov down and just submit him. Like Kopylov does not have great grappling. His takedown defense is okay, but I just think if Gregory wants to go in there and just get this done as fast as possible, he's going to take Kopylov down and just absolutely school him on the ground. He may get the ground and pound TKO whatever, but I can see a submission there. A lot of people are like,
I see RoboCop by guillotine if he got a sub.
guillotine.
Be just forward facing, a lot of damage, a lot of pressure, the head dropping if it is a scramble and it isn't just like a flash knockout on the feet. And Rodriguez just ninja choking or clinching up a guillotine, something that just has that big fucking curly head down like that, just getting choked the fuck out, going to sleep.
Yeah. I think so. For my sub round robin, I'm definitely throwing Aaron Blanchfield in there. I'm throwing Rodriguez in there. I'm throwing Brady in there, and then I want to throw Dawkins in there by sub because we've seen obviously Gerald has been getting subbed a lot lately. But I'm kind of scared he might knock out Gerald. So it's like I don't know what the line for that is.
His by finish prop is what we were saying earlier on the breakdown this week. A lot of us just like Dawkins by finish.
Yeah. What's that line?
Let's see where it's at now. It was plus 120, 150. Let me see what it's at now. Dawkins is negative 160 by finish, which is a good parlay piece if you don't believe in Mearshart. But for the fight not to go to the judges, another negative 100. So that would support on both sides if GM3 got a submission, which would be wild. But yeah, I pretty much hammered Dawkins by finishing this early when it was plus money.
Yeah, I think Dawkins is a lock. I don't see Gerald doing really anything that good. He's obviously not going to knock out Dawkins, and Dawkins' grappling is so high level. I think Dawkins can defend pretty easily anything that Gerald might throw up.
Yeah.
Also, cardio issues. Gerald always looks terrible after round 2. So.
Yep.
Camilo against Slava. I think Camilo obviously can take him down and get the sub pretty fast. But that all depends on if Slava has been working his grappling. Obviously Terrence McKinney made it look super easy. I just think like you can't train an alpha male with Uriah Faber and a bunch of other super high level grapplers and not have any like defense or not make smart decisions in those scrambles. And it's like every time Slava gets in there, it's like he forgets everything that he's drilling at Team Alpha Male. Like, how are you working with some of the best wrestlers and grapplers out there, and you're still not, putting things together when you need to? I don't know if it's just the pressure of like I'm in the UFC. I need to win this fight or what? But
I think it's because that fucking Humpty Dumpty ass egg looking head of his has been scrambled a few times. I think that's the real answer. I don't think
yeah.
his brain can retain much training at this point in his career.
And it also worries me because he took this on like a week's notice. So
Yeah.
taking the fight on short notice, I don't know, man. I think that fight is definitely not going the distance either.
Let me know what you think of Sir Sakayev. Do you think this guy, from what
Oh,
we
bro,
saw in his first fight, has like some holes in his game we're waiting to see exposed from some higher level guys eventually? Or do you think that there's even a shot that Eric upsets him with a really big counter shot because of this Nolan figure can show up and hit a good counter shot to wobble and have you hurt? What does it look like from Eric in this fight?
I think Eric has zero chance, man.
Okay.
I really do.
I
I think
agree. I agree
Sakaev,
that this is a more chosen fight, and we're gonna go slow, and we're gonna build this guy up. Let's get him out in Abu Dhabi. Let's get him out in front of His Majesty, where the Sir Sakayev fans can really enjoy him. So this is not intended to derail that hype train at all.
yeah.
But I am telling you this now: Sir Sakayev will get knocked the fuck out in his UFC career.
I just think that
Very, very, very much so going into top 15.
yeah, I think the last fight, I think it was more so he may have been just a bit too um I think the fact that one, it was less than a week from his contender series fight.
Yeah.
He was on a pay-per-view card with his training partner Chimaev. Like, I think it was kind of more of a, oh, I'm gonna go in there and just absolutely demolish this guy. It's gonna be easy. I'm gonna make a big name for myself in the UFC. Kind of bit him on the ass. I think he kind of showed up thinking like, no, this is a layup. I'm gonna destroy this guy. And then when that guy actually turned out to be a pretty good fighter and actually put up, a decent fight, it
Yep.
kind of threw him off guard. Like, oh shit. All right, hold on. Let me not play so much because in that first round he was showboating.
Yeah.
He was very clearly not taking it as serious as he should have. And I think that when he got rocked, that kind of woke him up to be like, hey, you're in the UFC. Like, these aren't, regional level guys anymore. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Sure.
something you need to actually perform at your best. And I feel like in the second round, once he finally was able to get Nolan down, it was kind of like, oh, okay. Like, he woke back up. He's gonna actually try, and he got it done pretty easily after that. I just don't see McConaughey having anything for him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know McConaughey trains in Arizona with what's the gym out there with Benson Henderson, MMA lab. There you go.
MMA lab. Yeah.
Yeah, he trains at MMA lab with Jose Delgado, all those guys. So he does have some very high level training partners.
Yeah, I like Delgado a lot. I think that guy's good.
I just think that McConaughey is I don't know, man. He's not explosive enough for me. He's also 35 years old. Like,
Yeah.
I just think Susarkayev, everything is in Susarkayev's favor. If he does drop the ball in this match, I think I don't know, man. I don't see him going far if he doesn't win this fight.
No. This story is really meant for him to probably win his next two, because even when he wins this one and goes to Abu Dhabi, it's going to be a very favorable matchup. And God forbids he doesn't get the finish. His judging chances go very up there. But yeah, I think much like Bo Nickel, he's going to get hurt on the feet, have a lot of high hype and high expectations. If this guy was disassociated in any way from Hamzat, we would have less standards. But because he has this association and that level of grind that comes with the territory, we also put his ceiling way up there too. But just from what I've seen, there's just so many guys that are going to hit harder than Nolan did to him. And I don't care that he's coming from a very short turnaround cut, which certainly impacts that the most thing. Yeah, I said it just before you joined in as I broke down that fight as a recap. I said that was the biggest factor in him being wobbled, but it's still that it happened against someone to that level when there's so many.
Somebody who was also fighting up a weight class,
Yes.
Somebody who was naturally a welterweight.
Someone will naturally be big and possess that zap, that power at welterweight is not a division you want to go into being zapped from someone like that. And that actually runs back to my fear for Islam. Islam has been absolutely hurt by someone who's kind of like a power volume boxer in Volkanovski. Volkanovski isn't hitting one hitter quitters. He works in combinations, and his combinations break you over time. And Islam absolutely dropped there. Um, we don't get to see Islam hurt much because normally he's such a vice with his grappling too. Gets the fight to the ground and eats you like a shark. That's just how he does it. When he had that first fight with Volk, he really leveled up in his Muay Thai, his kicks, his knees, all that shit, because he knew maybe I shouldn't really try to box with some of these actual very powerful, good boxers. Jack's a whole new fucking planet of that, both from skill in terms of power being combined. Poirier, I love the guy to death. He's also a volume guy, and he was, coming down at the end of his wonderful career with us. And this isn't a 155-pound car crash division anymore, where you go toe to toe and pick each other apart and hear spontaneous cracks and chatter. When you get hit real big at this weight class, you all go to sleep at a certain level. So I think Jack is probably one of the most disrespected champs to a debuting fighter in the weight class, up 15 pounds. But it's because of who the name is, and it's because Islam, I think, is pursuing his own Mount Rushmore for many people after this fight if he achieves this win. So I think we have to respect that just as much too. But the props shouldn't be negative 300, 200 anybody. This is a near even odds for me. I could see it like a negative 115 near even odd for Islam, but nothing more. So from a betting perspective, Jack has great value. I have this one hammered also for a finish for obvious reasons. I'm happy either way. It'd be great for Jack, but I'd be most especially happy for Islam. Silva's record, champ, further pushing away from Khabib. I guess you could say father's unknown plan, because this is Khabib's plan at this point. This 100% is a really beautiful story arc that would be sad to see take a turn. So I don't know.
I really hope JDM wins also, selfishly, because I do want to see Islam versus Taporia, and I feel like if Islam loses, go back down and try to get your belt back at 155.
Yeah.
Like that. If Islam loses this fight, I think no harm, no foul, because he's right back at another major blockbuster fight.
That's true.
Him versus Taporia is gonna put asses in seats. Like I wanted to know this fight.
Do you not think that Ilya would still push for that fight though with Islam and talk shit up the rankings in hopes of becoming his own triple champ?
I think at welterweight, Taporia's too small.
Oh no, 100%. But like even I couldn't see Ilya going up to 170. But what I'm saying is I could see Islam wanting to make the cut to humble Ilya and shut up the noise and just try to further show to himself, like, this is a huge milestone for Islam mentally. Like, am I really the best? And if he feels this win from JDM, you think someone as small as Taporia would threaten him, it would make him laugh. As long as he can make the cut, I could see Islam just as confidently saying, I have some unfinished business at this division. I want to show the world I wasn't running and that I'm just simply the best. And he was always part of my agenda. That would be some gangster shit either way.
Yeah, I mean, I do see that also really helping sell that fight. Obviously, if he's holding the welterweight belt, going back down and fighting Taporia for the 155 belt would definitely still, be just as big, if not bigger, of a fight. The only problem I see with it is the welterweight division's already kind of like at a standstill because you have so many prospects in like the top 10.
Yeah. I don't know if Dana would allow it. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Like all those guys should be challenging for a belt soon. Like if Brady wins this, he has to get the next title fight, Like there's no way that he gets denied again. And then Ian Machado Gary is back there trying to get a title shot, and he's winning his fights. So it's like, then, who knows when Shavkat comes back, but he's supposed to be getting a title shot. So there's so many guys at welterweight that are deserving of a title shot. And if Islam wins the belt and then wants to go fight somebody at 155, it just kind of like, it fucks the division up further than it already is. That's the only problem I see with it.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% on the dot with this one. Welterweight has so much eager anticipation and so forth. The next matchup I see for Shavkat is Joaquin Buckley. I think Buckley and Shavkat, they're both a fight or two away from that title shot, and I think Buckley is absolutely on deck for someone like Shavkat. They're both finishers. Buckley's physicality and the amount of hard work he puts in really has him at a advantage when he shouldn't be. Like, some of these guys are more technical with him, but they'll never have their way with him. The grappling upsets that he can pull because of his ability to peel and break away, and when he gets wrist control and snaps that shit off, like, Buckley's a motherfucker. I gotta meet him at UFC. I gotta meet him at 300, and I kind of just sat there with like 80 pounds on him, just looking at him like, yeah, it makes sense to me. Like, I don't know how he hits the weight, but he's a fucking problem. And ever since he's been at welterweight, all fucking day, this guy is. I'm gonna have a hard time fading him until you get to someone who can really do both very good. Yeah, so Buckley and Shavkat, that's the matchup because I want to see what that looks like.
He's about to grapple Pat Downey. They just announced that like a week ago. Damn. I'm excited to see how that goes because if Pat Downey just absolutely schools him in grappling, it's just going to show like, okay, clearly Joaquin's grappling is not high level, and somebody like Shavkat is going to obviously expose that as well.
Question about Shavkat's grappling though, because the fight with Gary did, I mean, again, I believe the injury. I'm a big fan of Shavkat, both trading cards. Like, I think the guy was one of these guys who really could continue a finish streak past 20 wins, be up on that list with like Alvarez, and he's scary and fun to watch. Mostly if he gets the fight to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But man, did Gary actually show me in that last fight, like, this guy's got his own limits too, and it's going to take someone who's also physically big like him, mixing it well. Welterweight's got some of these guys like coming up that are, I think, going to be a problem to Shavkat in the future, but he's very fucking good.
In my opinion, I don't take anything away from Shavkat with the Gary fight. I think that people just sleep on Gary's grappling.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was training at Shoot the Box with Charles and working on his grappling a lot more. I actually took Ian by submission against Shavkat and against damn, I forgot who it was he fought before that.
What were the props on the Shavkat fight? That's fucking nutty.
Every sub prop was over plus 1,000. And there was let me look up this.
Oh my god.
But there was one fight.
Holy fuck.
I've taken Gary by sub twice.
Dude, if you would have hit me with that slip after that fight, I would have been like paralyzed. Like, bro, how in the fuck did you know?
Okay, I lied. I've taken him by submission in 3 fights. I took him in the MVP fight by sub. He had MVP in a rear naked choke and couldn't finish it. He had the back, he had the body lock, he had the arm under the chin, and he didn't finish it. And I was losing my mind because I had the sub prop at plus 1,100.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, dude, just get the grip, slide the hand behind the head, you're golden, you win the fight. And he wouldn't do it. He was just holding this bullshit rear naked choke and just letting MVP constantly get the hand back. And I was like screaming at my TV. He fought Shavkat. Obviously, I was a little less confident in this one because Shavkat is a good grappler. And he threatened it once or twice, nothing major. Then I took it again in the Carlos Prates fight, and he almost subbed Prates again with the rear naked choke. He had the back. He was under the chin. But this dude does not know how to finish a rear naked choke. After that, I was like, I can't take this guy by sub anymore. Like, there was multiple fights that, what the hell? I look like a pufferfish. Damn, that's fucked up. Anyway,
Who the fuck?
multiple.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. There was multiple fights though that I had Gary by sub, and he was just like, he was right there, just a small tweak, and he would have been able to finish the choke, and he didn't. So I don't know if I can take the sub prop anymore going forward. It's burned me 3 times, but you know, I think if he tightens some things up, there's definitely some possibilities for Ian Gary to show that, you know, he is a pretty high level grappler, even though people think he's just this kickboxer.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. Gary, very kind of late in his UFC career, has devoted himself in like a different discipline, a different martial art. And I think that's part of why he's getting the hate, along with everything else. If Gary was out like starching motherfuckers and hitting knockouts, there wouldn't be as much hate. But because he's had like all these soy ass decision wins, and he's a cuck, and now he's like kind of like wrestling in ways where he's just trying to survive the fight. Like, we all know what would have happened if he would have struck with MVP. MVP would have turned him into a highlight reel. Like, MVP would have been salsa dancing on him and like fucking his wife emoting. Like, he would have just been dogging the shit out of Gary. And so Gary took the easy road. Everyone could grapple with MVP. That's not why he's there, and that's not why we stylistically schedule a strikers match. But Gary wants to win fights, and that's proven in what he's doing. He's traveling the world, bringing his family with him, just trying to go to all these different gyms and level up. And so, yeah, that's the one thing I don't hate about Gary, is like how much he wants it. But not a fan of him otherwise. So, yeah.
Sorry,
Who the fuck?
These people in the chat. Yeah,
Holy shit! What the fuck? Yeah.
I don't know. I just ignore it. But yeah, man. I do think like people disrespect Ian Gary just because, you know, people want to hate. They always want to find a reason to shit on somebody. But
Yeah. No, I mean, welterweight division's completely fucking stacked. I'm excited for what's to come. This is a huge card for welterweights as a whole, so I'm excited for it.
You know, people want to hate. They always want to find a reason to.
I'm using my PC too, so I can just get some screenshots so these people don't have accounts anymore. So that's cool. You guys are really fucking stupid, of all things that they do on a weekend. All right, well, those guys won't have accounts here pretty soon, so that's cool. Probably a burner account anyways, so block. Sometimes you just gotta go bald. Hey, I respect it, man. I had a huge fucking like mullet for the longest time. I just eventually wanted to just start fresh. If the hairline ever like exceeds and starts to leave me real bad, 100% I'll join the gang. I'm not gonna be a clown. That's for sure. Well, that's fun. Well, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, reported them. Holy shit. They were fucking retarded. I'm just
Now
blocking them now.
I went to report and then my shit got fucked up. So it's
Yeah.
whatever. But but yeah, somebody was asking Brady or Morales. We just talked about that. He's taking Morales. I'm taking Brady.
Yeah. Yep. I was catching up on chat too for a second. Uh, dude, shout out this week, by the way, to 10-7 MMA. I was on there with the Pro Schmo and Dana Black. That guy, very fucking in tune in the world of MMA, but he just kind of steered ship great. I don't often get to do any of this where I'm not driving and operating as, OBS or something on my end with Lethal. And no, he facilitated a great breakdown show. His takes were solid, and like you, he'll bring up all those little factual things that we all find ourselves thinking and using when picking a fight. But he's very good about not leaving any of those great details and facts out of his predictions. And so, yeah, kind of new to his stuff, but I'm digging it. So figured I'd give a shout out to that man in chat. And yeah,
I love 10-7. His page is funny, man.
yeah,
I like his stuff.
yeah, I know. Very methodical in his picks. Schmo, he's kind of that mix. Here's the betting side of things, and also here's the technical side. And I kind of try to say that that's kind of how I do things as well, because to a degree, if you're an underdog too severely, money talks. Like, I will take all my eggs in one basket and offset with a sprinkle. And my goal is like, why try to fight to make money when you have like two roads you can actually use simultaneously to more so guarantee the money. So I like finish props a lot when people get stuck on the method. And I know it's great to hit those cycle parlays, and I know they look really nice. um, but I like consistent cash flow and not trying to hit a slot machine. So I don't use UFC as like my main source of income, but for like the toys and the trading cards and all that extra shit, and even my car replacement stuff that I've had to do in the last month, like that's where that comes from, my UFC bankroll. So it's been fun to, I guess, kind of do better than usual. I did like 50 units in about the last 4 or 5 months.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I hit pretty decent in the last few weeks, and so there were just a few bets, but just things I was very confident on. Like, shit, I'll run it up as a method parlay, and those were like my hammers that I'm really happy with. But dude, I was sweating like actual method parlays too. That, like you said, a submission parlay, or just take three of your favorite submissions or three of your favorite knockouts. Like, fuck these decision submission knockouts. And those shits absolutely fucking slap really hard. And they're just a fun sprinkle. It's kind of a low risk, high reward. You get to sit back, enjoy the fights, have fun. So um, I'm only really hammering a fighter money line or a distance prop that I'm very confident in if the money lines of a fighter are shit or I respect it too much both ways.
Yeah, I agree. I've been doing the same. I took a break from kind of putting out like full slips because for a while I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself like looking for props that I didn't need to, if that makes sense. Like I just found myself like, oh, people want to pick for this fight. Let me just look to see what, has value and what I think could hit. And it just like it was constantly just fucking up my whole profit for the card. Like I was picking on fights that I didn't really care about either side. Um, or like it would come down to I throw a fight doesn't go the distance prop in a parlay,
Yep.
and then that fight ends up being like the most boring, worst fight on the card, and it just ruins my parlay or stuff like that. So I kind of took a break from putting out full slips. Um, I've just been kind of looking at the matchups that I really like, the fighters that I really know a lot about, that I don't have to do too much extensive research for, and yeah, since then, I've been doing a lot better.
It also takes off like a lot of the research you find yourself wanting to do throughout the week, and just give you a lot of time to just enjoy as a fan. I I started that way. I had the fighters that they're the ones I'm excited for to watch, you know, as they're climbing up or we're learning more about them. Those were the ones I was very confident on betting. And then I just enjoyed the rest of the fights. But before I knew it, I'm doing picks every week, and those picks get me thinking about somebody's ability to win by a submission knockout, and then see those props and go, well, that's kind of fucking crazy. And yeah, it's easy to bet throughout the entire slip because everyone's looking for value or maybe trying to get value in a fighter before they're too established at being that thing that's getting submissions, knockout wins specifically. When there's high value early on in doing that, that's also the other chase and hunt. Joel Alvarez for me was always a guy that I was getting really good value in his submission and knockout wins. And people are like, who the fuck's that guy? You know what I mean? I'm like, I love Joel Alvarez. This guy's a fucking problem, is who he is. No one could fight him at 155, and yeah,
dude. That last fight against Luque, bro, I had like 2 long shots. Dude, the last leg, I just needed him to win by finish.
Everybody.
Both of them.
Everybody.
Oh, I was so upset.
Every fucking person was sitting there screaming at their TVs, and this Mr. Bean looking ass fucking official we've never seen. Like, stop the fucking fight. Like, I don't know how many more consistent follow-up shots you need on the ground at some point to be like, this guy's not doing shit to fight back. But
and then in the third round, he wouldn't stand him up.
It was the eye poke first, not the eye poke, but the shot that like fucked up the eye of Luque, and the fight should have resumed right then and there. So it was like, because I don't know, we gave him all this extra recovery time and things. The fight was over in the first round, if you want to be in like layman's terms. But yes, good on Luque for being resilient and staying alive, because, dude, second and third round all had moments where, what the fuck, this fight should be ending, but it's just not. And I had 2 long shots that dropped as well. And Du Bronx still cashed me out because he was getting faded on since his knockout loss with Ilya. So he cashed me out on the card. But holy fuck, did Alvarez have a chance to do so much more, because he was on almost every parlay by a finish.
Yeah.
Almost every parlay, dude. He was my golden goose.
I did the same thing, and same as far as Charles goes. He also he brought back most of what I lost on, you know, the fight to not go the distance for that Alvarez fight.
I don't like to bet emotionally in the moment, but when I had like every parlay fell and I had a couple other bets and it was gonna be, if anything, a break even night, I looked at my girl. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. Fuck this shit. I said I'm gonna rehammer Du Bronx by finish. I'm gonna finish this thing because he
was like really good value as well.
Yeah, plus money.
I hit on that, and then I think I also took like a fight to not start round 4 or something.
Yeah.
And it was like
good on calling that out, by the way. Fight not to start around 4 or 5 or 3. You get so much better prop than just saying distance no. And I do that a lot in finish fights where I don't expect it to go to the third round. I'll say finish in the first 2. You get so much better value in certain cases where it's worth it. So that's a good prop for sure. Well, shit, man. I'm gonna wrap up my Tapology picks and then a couple other sprinkle bets, I think, before I get jetting. Are you doing anything for the fights tonight, or are you staying in?
No, man, I'm staying home. I was gonna try to go to this card, but when I got the link for the tickets, even like nosebleeds were outrageously priced.
Yeah.
And then going to New York is just always a pain in the ass. Like, whether you drive, fly, take the train, it's like you can't even breathe in New York without having to pay something, you know? So you're going to pay for a hotel, you're going to pay for overpriced food, you're going to pay for parking, you're going to pay for literally everything you do in New York City is outrageously priced. And I was like, man, I can't pay $400 for a nosebleed ticket. And obviously, you know, I'm going to take the wife as well. So now that turns into $800, and then food and place to stay is just...
UFC 300 was the event that I told myself, I don't care the cost, I have to be there. I almost went to Chicago just based on the fact that I could at least drive and cut out the airfare for, you know, a $500-600 shitty nosebleed as well. But man, my car at the time was not doing good, and I know I had just came from being broken down in Chicago during PFL when I was there to support Jeffrey. So when I when I was looking at that card, I'm like, yeah, eat a dick. I'm either taking the train to that fight or I'm not fucking going. And it just came down to, well, dude, I kind of just enjoy being home watching these. The card is going to be hosted at various casinos near me and shit, but the manager at Buffalo Wild Wings has been really cool. They've been hooking me up with like the posters and shit too. They know I'm like really into it. And the last time I was there, there's this table of people like, what do I bet on this one? This was just the prelims, but it was a card where I was like 10 for 12, and I had, of those 10 fights, 7 methods. And this was early in the card before I missed a single fight. So I ended up having like my tab covered for the night, and these guys were like buying me drinks, having like, you know, a good time. They were getting real into it. So they became fans of the channel, and I don't know. They seem to be at this location every week hoping I'll show up and tell them what to do to make money. I don't, like you said, I get over invested in these entire fucking cards, and I'll either look great or like an idiot. The only benefit you get in doing shit early is you get to refire. If you have parlay fall, okay, we can rebuild this. So unless you are absolute, a card can be a big heartbreaker if you wait till the end and then miss out on the action. But at the end of the day, the fights are really what we're after. This is just, you know, for fun. You know, I'm not crying the next day and yelling at a fighter on IG because they didn't win me my little shitty bets. You know what I mean? I want everyone to go to their family safely, and I hope everyone that I fuck with, you know, gets a bonus and shows out and looks great. But I respect it on both ends. When a fighter wins a fight because they're in there doing the thing, we're just on our couches.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, nothing makes the fights more exciting though than just throwing, you know, a couple dollars on somebody.
Yeah.
You're just like,
yep.
All right, come on, let's go. You know,
That's what started like this shit, you know. It was just like, oh man, I already enjoy watching the fight so much. Now let me bet a little bit on it. Now I'm overly fucking emotional about it and really hope it goes this way. But
did you get in on Chris Padilla last week?
Yeah, Taco.
Yeah.
I talked with him very briefly, but yeah, no, Taco's been a guy that he's very engaging with his fan base. He's got a lot of love, and he's one of those guys, if you bet on him, there's not a doubt in a fiber in your body that says this guy isn't going to at least fight for you. How many people fucking Bonfin fold up and just, what are you doing? And it's like the worst feeling in the world if you are betting for fun, just to see someone quit on themselves. So Taco, that was easy. We hammered. That one.
I was so upset. I was supposed to go out there and basically film like a vlog for them for the whole week because I'm pretty cool with this coach as well.
Oh, nice.
And I ended up getting sick right before it, and it was just like, it just didn't work out. And I was so upset, dude, because not only did he win, but Jamal Emmers win, and they both trained under Chris Cooley. So I was just like, I was rooting for both of these guys heavily. And it was awesome to see them both win, but man, I wish I could have been there and filmed all that. It would have been.
Yeah, he's a cool ass dude to talk with. You should do a favor for me. If you get a follow up with him on this next fight of his or an opportunity to collab with him, do a segment called Walking Taco and just have a bunch of like fan questions lined up for him and stuff. And you ask the question in chat or the person, and he answers, because he's kind of an interesting guy. You don't get know a lot of his personality. Mic time's limited, but he is a guy who's got a kind of interesting story. It seems he's fucking he's about it.
He's super humble, super down to earth, but man, he is super talented, and I'm excited to see, you know, what he can do in the UFC going forward.
Yeah, nope, he's a good scrapper. I always like his fights by finish, and I like, you know, him by knockout because he hits that gas pedal. He doesn't quit on himself. He's not as scared to take it. He definitely puts himself out there to fucking send it, but it's been working out great. So I'm not fading him anytime soon. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, those elbows that he throws are nasty.
Yeah. I love fighters who can use knees and elbows, man. Just something to actually split your opponent open and make them wilt and quit. Like, everyone's used to getting hit by the end of our joints, our punches, our kicks. But when you hit a fucking knee, look what it did to Bo Nickel, man. You can make somebody quit. Kevin Holland just got hit to the ribs. Quit. One of the toughest. Yep. Now go watch the fight with Wonderboy and go, how did Holland survive that for as long as he did versus what Delice did? Well, when those elbows can hit your face and your cartilage and those knees can break your fucking ribs, you don't want to fight no more. And so, yeah, I like Taco's killer instinct for sure.
Yeah, he's an exciting prospect.
Yeah. All fucking day, man. Well, I appreciate you tapping in. I hope you enjoy the fights. And, yeah, sorry for the dickheads in chat. At least we got some real ones showing up.
It's all good, man.
Keeping us rolling now for sure. But yeah, I feel like we got to, you too. I feel like we got to cover every fight. There's probably one more I want your opinion on real quick and what you think. Yeah. And that would be, who do you got? Wallmaker, obviously, knockout. I'm looking forward to him having another highlight reel, another right hook. Who do you got between BSD and Dariush?
All right, so this fight, everybody is on BSD from what I've seen, with the exception of like two people. I've been on Dariush since the moment I saw this fight announced. I think that Dariush, granted, we look at his last couple of losses and it's like, oh, his career's, already done. He's on a downward trajectory. He needs to retire. He's getting older, blah, blah, blah. I'm not convinced, Like, I think Dariush, the losses that he has to Arman Sarukian, not a bad loss.
Yeah, I agreed.
Supposed to fight for the belt. That's a tough, young prospect. Or not prospect, but, title contender. And then Charles Oliveira, like, the guy with the most finishes at lightweight. Like, we're not going to say that this guy is washed because he's lost to those two guys.
You're going down the same road I did, my head. The same exact reasons. Yep, I like it.
I think Dariush, he has great cardio. He showed that against Moicano. Obviously, very, very high level grappling, which we saw that BSD against Moicano, he was just doing beginner mistakes as far as the jiu-jitsu goes, like getting swept, just getting absolutely dominated and not being able to get back up against Moicano. I think that with Dariush, if he takes this fight to the ground, he's going to be able to just be a step ahead of BSD the whole time. And I honestly think on the feet, a lot of people are saying, oh, Beneil is chinny now, he's older, whatever. I think BSD is chinny. Like, we've seen the guy get hurt multiple times. Granted, it was to, like, Dustin Poirier, who, we know, obviously, really good striker. But I'm just not sold on BSD. I've never really been high on him. And I think that he gasses. If he can't dominate you in the first or second round, he just falls off a cliff. And I think against someone like Dariush, I think Dariush can get it done on the feet. He can find a big shot. He does have power. And I also think that with the grappling, he can exhaust BSD early. And I can see him getting either a submission or a late KO or TKO. So I'm on the Beneil side. I wasn't ecstatic that he missed weight, but at the same time, like, the guy's coming in heavier. Hopefully, that means his chin is going to be a little more intact. Maybe he didn't, tax himself as much as he should have for the weight cut, but I think that I think Dariush is going to pull it off here, and I think a lot of people are going to be upset that BSD is going to once again go out there and look like maybe he doesn't belong in the top, 5, top 10 of lightweight.
Yeah, no, all fucking day. I think Dariush is one of those guys that we never really got to see him against the his absolute peak performance. He's had his injuries and his share of inactivity in times, and just I don't know, that division had so many fun star power matchups, and he never really fit into that cool kids club of popular guys and was really skipped out on a bit from seeing like him have a rise in even tougher matchups that he did actually win. The guys that know what they're doing in the grappling definitely do better in ways against him, but the only thing that we've learned for the most part about Dariush is you can hurt him, but the issue is he's so good about mixing up the fight and taking the fight into his world with his wrestling and shit. He can mix it up real quick, or his hands hurt you, which happens too to people. And then Dariush starts to pick you apart. So
I think Dariush just has so many impressive wins. Like,
yeah,
I'm just looking at his record real quick, and he has, wins over Drew Dober, Michael Johnson, Jim Miller, Thiago Moises, Tony Ferguson. Granted, Tony Ferguson was kind of on the decline at that
yeah,
point.
he was. Yep.
But like Gamrot, like that's a huge win to have, and that Gamrot fight was in 2022. So it's like,
But do you know it's not the same about all those names versus BSD?
what's that?
They don't have the same finishing prowess as BSD. Not
That
that
is true.
BSD, much like New Bronx, really has a keen for being like a finished prowler. And his kryptonite is, while he's not complete himself and he's not bulletproof himself, he himself gets finished. So I kind of like this one, the fight by finish here. But because Dariush can control the chaos and take these fights into his own world, I wanted to stay away from it. So then I started looking between the finished props and BSD method props because, again, if I took Dariush, it's a money line all day. He's just too well rounded for me to feel confident for decision knockout, especially against BSD. So it was a tough pick and bet, but I did sway ever so slightly Dariush as a pick, but I've been back and forth all week. From a betting standpoint, I want BSD by finish, the dog plus the method, but I'm probably staying away from this one otherwise, unless I see a good live prop where BSD takes down Dariush but isn't having his way and Dariush wrestles back and the fight's reset to the feet. If you can survive BSD, I don't care that the live props are going up because it looks like Dariush is going to lose the fight because he's losing control time and maybe strikes at that point in time. But if the fight continues to reset, his cardio's solid and he's just a very live fighter. So I'm going to be looking at live props if it goes exactly like that. And if I get value at anything plus 200-300 on Dariush, I probably take it as long as it's happening that way. Going into it, I'm betting BSD by finish, though.
The one thing about taking the BSD side that worries me is the cardio. I just think that if Beneil is able to just stay in there and not get knocked out in the first 2 rounds, I think that BSD is just going to fall off a cliff, man. And I don't know. That's the thing that worries me, especially against Dariush, who is good enough everywhere to honestly kind of push this to go to the later rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think
it's a tough one.
BSD is just like, he's really good at being the hammer, terrible at being the nail. Like, if he's getting bullied, exactly what Bonfim does, what we were just talking about. He will just almost give up. Or I don't know if it's that he's giving up. I think it's more so that, like, he goes so balls to the wall early that he has nothing left to give if the guy still isn't out of there within those first 10 minutes. And I could just see, Beneil just using that to his advantage. And maybe Beneil still loses a decision. Maybe BSD takes rounds 1 and 2 and Beneil, wins the third. But I don't know. That's a good one. I'll probably take whatever has the most value. If I can get a number on Beneil for, KO or sub late that's like outrageous, I'll probably take that. But I don't know. I do feel like this fight isn't going the distance, but like you said, maybe
Dariush can get cracked. That's the really big thing that worries me about Dariush too, is that he absolutely can get cracked, and all these other guys, they're more controlled, like more predictable fighters. BSD's very just like, very gas pedal heavy, and he puts himself in really awkward positions where He's either gonna get countered or hit whatever he was chasing. So
Mm-hmm.
finish prop versus method is really what I'm looking at with BSD from a betting stance. But I'm not parlaying this one. There's just too many uncertainties that I get being overconfident in BSD the way I normally am, and during his rise. And now he's finally at the big leagues, and now he's finally fighting really good, well-rounded guys, not just a boxer. So yeah, I got Dariush for sure. And to your point, Moicano put on a fucking clinical ass whooping on BSD. That is hard to forget. Had that not happened, I probably would have more confidence in BSD again. But because
I
he,
think if
yeah,
that fight never happened, I think BSD would be a heavy favorite here.
yeah,
Like probably
because
-4 something, maybe -500.
Mike,
But
I had Dustin winning BSD, but I also coped being like, well, it's a good thing he's got staph infection, you know. So like, yeah, had that Moicano fight never happened, I would agree. Dariush would be probably like a 3-1 dog, just about. Prop wise, I'd expect it to be, but yeah. Well, good shit, man. It's been a minute, like you said, but I'm glad that you rang and we caught up real quick and got to go through a breakdown on this.
hell
Uh,
yeah, bro.
We're going to be opposite on some of these, but I think that's most people this week. That's why it's such a fun one to hear everyone's
As long
opinion.
as we have
So,
some bangers, as long
yeah.
as the fights are like extremely entertaining, I'm all
It's
right being wrong.
all day. This is the best card on paper, and the only heartbreaker would be not seeing it delivered to such, because this has a chance to be right next to UFC 300. In ways, it has a chance to surpass it. You're at a better arena. You're at, I don't know, you're encouraging two super fights, while one of those, although being women's MMA, one of the best women's MMA fights of all time at two amazing points in career. This wasn't an early trajectory like fucking Bullet and Nunes. Um, and yeah, throughout the entire card, there's some fights that we're excited about. And here's the other thing I love about this card. This has guys that are going to be on this card for a minute. Guys that are in their early climbs. Morales, Wallmaker, Prates. Brady's still going to be here for a minute. There's some people that will really be around. You know, Sursakayev, another great example of this. There's some guys that will absolutely be around for a while. And here they are pretty early against some of the greatest vets of all time. And again, we could see anytime you have a fight that determines Mount Rushmore, that's a pretty big one too. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm wishing you the best on this, but like you said, let's just fucking hope it goes halfway decent, and we should have a really good night of fights. I hope there's no eye pokes, no kick,
Hopefully no eye pokes.
no kicks in the dick. I hope everyone can just fight a normal, clean fight, and that would make me the happiest. No bad judging, no bad like officiating, because that would be a heartbreaker if, especially, it came to the title fights and it came to that too.
I just hope no early stoppages.
Yeah.
I can't count how many times I've had a bet or something on like a big fight, like a title fight, and then somebody gets caught with something and the ref just steps in super early, and it's like, dude, like he was like, he was rocked, but like he could have still went on. He's not dead. He's not out cold. Like the guy's just a little wobbly. Let him fight, and then they're like, no, it's off.
Dude, that shit happens so fucking much.
It's pretty frustrating, but I watched something earlier this week with Herb Dean, and he was talking about how, like, at the end of the day, sometimes they fuck up. It happens. They're human. But at the end of the day, they have to focus on the fighter's safety. And
Yeah.
on TV, to us, it looks like, oh, the guy's fine. Yeah, he got rocked, whatever. But maybe, in the actual cage, the ref saw something that, this guy was actually way more compromised or whatever. So I try not to let, the fact that I have like a $50 bet or something on, a fight like really piss me off. But
I call people out when they do that too. I have to do that probably the most with Lethal when he's in my group chat. I'm just like, Come on, or you know who used to be the worst at it? The original MMA Jesus, not MMA Jesus
Oh yeah.
420. The dude who, yeah, dude, the original MMA Jesus. I almost would like open the chat during a fight, knowing that he's sitting there like, man, this is the stupidest sport in the world, man. This card's shit. That was
It's
always
always
the,
it's always the UFC is rigged thing that
yeah.
gets me. It's like, come on, bro. Like nobody's out there rigging fights purposely. I mean,
Yeah, it definitely happens, but purposefully, like the majority of
yeah,
people stay away from that. The people that are halfway decent, have a career, or worth watching, they shut that shit down all day because they know they're gonna lose everything,
yeah.
and they devote so much in their lives for this shit. So yeah, unless you're at Abu Dhabi or something where His Majesty is, you know what I mean, something like that's going on or something crazy. I don't know, but it probably happens more than we know, and I'm curious to see this investigation, and then I want it to continue to other sports because uh, those sports are so obvious when they do it.
Yeah.
Like it's really fucking terrorizing how many people professionally sports bet NBA, NFL, MLB, hockey, and you just see these things happen, and like
I
no
just
one
hope
no
that
one's stopping it. You know what I mean? It's
I
crazy.
hope they don't do what DraftKings just did with the whole baseball scandal. I don't know if you saw that.
Nope. What happened there?
So apparently people were paying pitchers because you can bet on pitch speed live,
Okay.
and you can bet like, all right, the next pitch is going to be over or under 90 miles per hour, and they're
Oh
usually good odds.
fuck.
So what was happening was
Oh fuck.
people were paying some of these pitchers like,
Oh
hey,
shit.
in this inning or whatever, make sure you throw the third pitch to this guy, make sure it's under 90 miles an hour or whatever. So people were making money off of this, and the FBI found out. They ended up arresting the pitchers, and now DraftKings was like, all right, look, we're no longer going to allow you to bet more than $300 on these props specifically because obviously people have been rigging them. So
Why don't
going
they make the
forward,
props just shit on DraftKings then?
well, that's the thing is people probably won't play them if that's the case. Like if the props, because it's just one or the other. You can't like actually dial the specific speed. It's just
Yeah.
like, hey, 90 miles for this over under, and it's like one will be minus 150 and the other's like plus 130 or whatever. And there was never a limit. Now they're like, you know what? We're limiting it $300. That's the max you can bet on those props. And if they get like that with everything because they think people are rigging it, it's just going to ruin sports betting. And
All right.
this is still the new thing. I think I saw a stat where sports betting didn't actually become completely legal until I think 2018. So obviously we're gonna have some major changes here and there, but I'm hoping that they don't fuck with our UFC bets because there's some props that I love and I hate it because like FanDuel does like the knockout in rounds 2, 3, 4, or whatever the case may be that DraftKings doesn't. But if they get to the point where they're like limiting those types of props, it's just gonna ruin it because they're already starting to manipulate the lines. I remember when I first started getting into MMA betting, you'd be able to get good finish props for crazy numbers like plus 300 or wider. And now it's like you get a guy who has a couple knockouts, and his knockout line is no greater than plus 200 or something.
So I was thinking about that a lot. We get a lot of finish props that are low hundreds, and it used to be, almost up to 1,000 in some cases. More of those plus 700-800s, and I feel like because of the growth of MMA, UFC in particular, there's more people doing what we're doing on like a wide scale. Like more people posting those slips that shows like a simple 2-3 like just smacking for a life-changing amount of money on a weekly basis just about. So I think the bookies are kind of catching that. You know what I mean? I watched this guy go up to a blackjack table, and after like 2 minutes, they're like, "Hey man, you're too good for our casino. You gotta leave." You know what I mean? And they're and like, what did they make? $1,500 real quickly. The issue with these MMA slips is that you show up and you're like, "I win," and they're like, "Huh? Yeah, this $1,500 bet I just did just paid out $50K. I win. Like this was my cycle parlay this week." And that's bringing attention to sports betting with MMA, probably at the highest scale. because everyone loves a slip. It doesn't matter what sport you bet in. Everyone loves that slip that $1,000 turned into six figures. That's universal. And so people are like, "Oh man, look at there's a lot of money to be made in MMA." Anyone watching that is only going to grow further curiosity. And I think too many people have a subscription, they have memberships, and they just copy paste all each other's shit or whatever that looks like. And you got people that are now betting in more sports than ever. I've bet on hockey more last year than I've ever bet on hockey. But it's because, much like the speed of a pitch, I found out that you can bet for there to be no goal in the first 5 minutes of the first period. Okay, I don't even watch a lot of hockey, but it's a very low scoring game when I do see it. People are getting warmed up. People are starting off a game, working off jitters, not trying to cost themselves a goal early. I feel like people in hockey are more conservative off the rip. So I was fucking off with, a couple people that did that, building little 2-3 leg parlays that for plus $300-$400 were pretty safe.
Yeah.
So it was just a steady like $50 has now turned my bankroll into $200 for my UFC card this week, and I didn't have to do anything else. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So yes, to your point, I hope this investigation ends cleaner than I think some people are expecting it to be, because I want the authenticity of UFC to remain. I want all these story arcs and everything to be the way they are and not be like somehow questioned and be like, what the fuck? I had no idea. So, yeah. It can affect the other sports all day long because I see it with the naked eye, but no, it's obvious in a fight when something's off. Like, it's a very hard sport to kind of fake because you can't just go out there and fold up. You gotta let the fight itself happen. So
yeah, and I mean, it blows my mind too, though. Like, we've also seen, obviously, there's like the whole scandal of people throwing fights, but then we've also seen where a fighter is very obviously injured, you know,
yeah,
and they come into the fight, and everybody is already spreading that news,
yep.
2-3 days before the fight, and so everybody hammers that line, and the sports books keep it open, and it's like the sports books obviously are hoping that, all right, maybe this guy pulls off the upset even though he may be injured.
Yeah.
And we could take all this money, and sometimes it does happen like that where the guy was injured but he still wins.
So repeat what you just said there. The casinos are asking themselves, well, this guy could fight back. It's literally the guy fighting back. Yes, he's injured. In any sport, they have to fight through that injury. In a fight, you're fighting back with that broken arm. You're fighting back with that broken leg. They deal with it after the fights. Like, it's kind of crazy, really, how many fights.
It just blows my mind that they don't remove the lines with situations like
that,
though.
The Gordon fight with the car hit.
Yeah, they were so fast to remove the line for the Bulgarian and Dubaye fight.
Yep.
But then with with Jared Gordon and I forgot the other guy, Almeida, with the injured hand, they let those props and lines stay open the entire time, and you could have gotten great money in on those fights. Like, I think I hammered against Almeida. I think I took the fight to end in like round 1. I took the other guy round 1 and 2. I took knockout. And then obviously I sprinkled a little bit on Almeida finish just in case he pulled something crazy off because the odds were outrageous. But like, I don't know, like, you can't limit us. If you're going to give us those lines, you can't limit us with something like the Bulgarian thing where they want to remove all the lines because they heard that potentially this guy's going to throw the fight, or a lot of money moved in on this guy. Like, don't take those lines and then leave us with the lines of a guy potentially being injured and not injured. Like, if you're gonna take the lines off, take the lines off for those fights as well, because
you know how disconfigured everything is in MMA and UFC. It's like, from uniform reffing and point deducting. There's no uniform way in both the betting world and the actual fights themselves and the criteria. It's really the Wild West of betting, I'd say. It really fucking.
I'm curious to see this new partnership that the UFC just signed. It's like a betting partnership. I'm curious to see what effect that has on MMA betting, because apparently they're going to start providing more props, more live props and stuff like that. So I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe those lines are going to be more inflated, or I don't know. But the sport is so new still in the grand scheme of every other sport that you can bet on. So it's like,
Just like all the cards, man. Get in.
yeah, getting into this
Tap in,
world
y'all.
right now.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter
it's
what
like
it is, dude. Don't matter what it is. It could be you're at the grocery store and you're like walking by and you're like, oh yeah, I'll just buy all these real quick. Hold on to it, collect it, have fun with it, and then like go on your own Easter egg hunt. Open those packs of cards. Open these little dudes. I'm saving that right here as my Christmas, dude. I got like probably 20 something of these, and there's like 14 you can hit. 2 golds being Dubronx and John Jones, and they give you like a fragment of octagon. Every 8 you open, you build an octagon. The trading cards I use would fit right in the center of them, and so I'll get back to like posting a few cards each week on these like little podiums. Like instead of like what I was doing, which I just don't have the time for anymore, instead of posting the entire fight card, my whole collection of all that, I'll take like my top banger cards. Everything's either a graded, case hit, auto, like all good cards. And start putting on those little platforms. But it doesn't matter your purpose for them, man. It's a great gift. They're cheap. Dude, invest now. These are little UFC stocks. I'm gonna maybe give a lot of this shit away. You know, I'm gonna make someone's like birthday or something. I'll do giveaways for the channel or whatever. But, dude, there's so much cool stuff out there you can get into. Whether your hobby is graphical design for like content channels, fucking whether your passion's doing like clothing and merch. I think that's like the coolest thing you can do for a fighter. It's just like walk around town because you know how many people I get stopped there like, dude, I fucking love Shavkat because I got his shirt on that I got when I was in Vegas, or UFC 300 sweater's my favorite thing to wear out in town. People are like, dude, that was the best fight card of all time. I was like, dude, I was there. It was the fucking wildest, night of my life. So,
yeah, I started doing some of the graphic design stuff as well because I started like another MMA page.
yeah, oh yeah.
The Corner Talk MMA, and I literally will just like.
Am I in that? Send that to me if I ain't already.
I don't know. I'll send you a message.
And also, I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna be more public with like a schedule on when I do shit and hold myself accountable to dates and times and basically have all my shit up early in public, because I want to I feel like I can hold myself very accountable to my thoughts publicly on like props and bets and things too at this point. But, yeah, I want to make like graphics and stuff like for those like lock of the week kind of ideas that I have. So I'll partner with you on some art like that. That'd be kind of cool to do. But
for sure.
Send me your channel. I want to start scheduling and doing more podcasts throughout the week early, so I can hear everyone's opinions and kind of weigh my own off that. I've actually been pulled away from an original idea twice in the same day on the same fight from different takes and perspectives that I was like kind of having to remind myself like, oh fuck, because I like to go off instincts too. People go off stats. I also like to go off fight instincts. Like, man, like BSD when he's really fucking on, dude. Dariush has really been hurt. But no, and then I get more technical and I look at the stats and the level of opposition and go, oh, yeah, Dariush probably wins this.
Yeah, so I had started this account mainly just like to promote, my bets, my props, whatever.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And then I started that other account earlier this year because it was originally supposed to turn into a podcast. And then the person that I had originally like came up with the idea with kind of like pulled out last minute, and we just never got around to filming the podcast. And like I've tried to do like solo episodes, but every time I go to like actually film it, I'm just like, dude, talking to myself for even if it's a 10 or 15-minute episode is so boring. Because it's like, when we're going back and forth,
that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah, there's emotion behind it. I can talk about like the Ian Gary props that I, just missed on multiple times or whatever the case.
Yep.
If I'm just recording myself, it's so hard to inflict that emotion.
Yeah.
Like rawly. And
a lot of fight like talk shows, when you have one frame of reference, well, the co-host might have your actual purview, your thoughts on something, and so you get to have like these like, I don't know, you get to have confirmation and how you feels like aligned and tuned, like, yep, other people feel this too, and the same reason he thinks this, same as me, or yeah, it's even more confidence that I have now. I didn't even think of it that way. But it's all about the fates. We overconfident ourselves on a fight pick, and so it's good to like have someone. Listen, Dan, I know BSD was showing up like a killer, but look what he just, and then you're like, oh yeah, no, that fight with Moicano was fucking scary. Yeah, Dario should eat this guy. So it's like, yeah, thanks for keeping me grounded. Thanks for like giving me the reality check, because we get too overzealous in the story that we've like convinced ourselves already, and that's the best part about MMA, and that's the best thing about circles like this. And I feel you, dude, because I've done both like game streaming and like early breakdown streaming and shit too. And I was like, I hate talking to myself. I'm not gonna be on a private account anymore. I'm gonna make a public account and I'm like, I didn't even use IG. Oh yeah, I'm not using Facebook at all anymore. I'm just gonna use IG, and anyone who wants to see what I'm fucking off to can just go to my page and see random reels from shit there. I don't give a fuck. I don't use the platform. And then in doing this whole journey, like going to UFC 300 was when I created Toad, because I'm like, cool, I might meet some other fight fans I become cool with, or like people that do cards, or I might meet some of these people. Oh, got a picture with Buckley and Jacoby and Marab and Ode Osborne real quick. Shot him the picture back. Said, yo, that. Thanks so much. That means a lot that you guys took the time to take the photo. Much love. Be cheering you on your next fight. That kind of stuff. But Marab got to be my first MMA Toad interview, and I had no idea what I was doing, because we had people kind of like rushing us, so I couldn't spend like a lot of time or anything. But I was just so excited for UFC 300, and I wanted Marab's opinion on the fights. It wasn't like, hey Marab, I know you really want O'Malley. How golden would that have aged if I had more time to talk to him about Sean? Because he had been calling out O'Malley for a while. We all knew Marab wanted that fight for the money too, right? But he was like the most down earth fucking dude in the fucking world. Like, getting to just talk to the guy early on.
Yeah, that's an awesome interview to have. Also,
fucking just humble as a motherfucker. And I walked into the room and I went to like shake his hand at a presidential fucking dispensary. You had to buy a moonshot, or was it the moon rock, the pre-roll? You had to buy a fucking moon rock to get VIP access to the room where they're all at and stuff. And so I was like, oh, that works out great, because I wanted one for the fights anyways. And I fucking, I go in there and I go to put out my hand, shake Rob's hand. And right as he went to shake my hand, I like put my shoulder down and did like a fake takedown where I like committed to it and stepped through. And he had the biggest fucking like little smile on his face. Like he was calm as a cucumber. Like, gave me the laugh, like he did one of those with his hands, like, don't fucking do it.
yeah.
But he was just like the funniest dude to talk to in a short time span. But yeah, we were more so talking about Aljo at featherweight and how it's been like training with him, and do you see the speed and difference in power? That's also my question to measure how confident I already was in Marab. But if Sterling gets an extra 10 pounds to be an even bigger backpack, then going back down a division, like, that's also my loaded question. Like, hey, are you still fucking running the gym against Aljo? Because we know you're a better grappler than him, basically, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, he goes, oh yeah, just, basically he's just like, oh yeah, he's good. Dude, his accent I can never replicate, but it's like I don't know how, it's like so grindy and sweet at the same time. It's fucking hilarious. I love Marab. I hope that guy continues to break some records of his own. I'd love to see him come up in weight and try to be at featherweight before he's done as well. He deserves the super fight when he's done. I think all the GOATs, you just go up a weight class and secure it at a new level if you can.
Yeah, for 100%. But yeah, so I had started that other page, that second page. That was
I keep interrupting you on that. I'm so sorry. I get at a certain altitude, and I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But yeah, now your other page, if you haven't already, please send it to me. I'll definitely check it out. So go ahead. You're doing graphic design kind of work, podcast work, wanting to collaborate. Like, what are you trying to go after and do? Sports betting? Like, what's your channel theme?
So it's actually kind of like the complete opposite of this page. This page was mainly supposed to be for like bets and
Yeah.
promoting, my picks and whatnot.
Yep.
That page, I kind of just started it originally to be a podcast. The podcast itself fell through. But as of right now, I've just been doing graphics and tagging fighters and.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, if you ever want to, I just did a collaboration this last week with 10-7, and then there's Lethal. I'd say there's enough people and groups we can break up content and do like little mini collaborations too. So I still want Lethal because he takes a day off of work basically to do Lethal Total MMA, and he wants to invest his time into continuing to do shows. Ideally, we just want to do multiple days a week, put it out there early and be done with it, so that days like today I don't have to make a graphic or do this, do that. It's all fucking done. It's like you're clocked out of it just like you would a normal job, and you're enjoying your weekend doing whatever the fuck else you want to go do. So that's kind of my goal as well. And so I don't mind doing more collaborations as well, because outside of having the fun back and forths that get me kind of thinking and affirmated with my decisions throughout an entire week, it's all done and dusted. The graphics made, the posts has been made, the socials have been up, the collaborations are there, and more views, the people out doing the research or algorithms having more time to process, everything just probably works out better for you anyways. The issue I have myself with the current schedule is Lethal has to take a day off of work because his time zone is so different. He's in Australia. So that peak collaboration window for him and I would only naturally happen if I started streaming at like too fucking late. You know what I'm saying? So I'm open to do more stuff throughout the week because I have more time, and I should and want to be doing more too. I do want to do more graphical design. I use a couple little basic thumbnail things that I've made for my own graphics, but I've used the same ones and I've never really like spruced it up. I did just here real quickly, let me make something. Okay, cool, got it made. So it'd be fun to like go through, update, but also see like tricks of the trade too, because I definitely don't spend the time doing that shit as a hobbyist. I do like more gaming and disc golf and other hobbies. I don't fucking get a thrill out of graphical design like some people do, so their work's way fucking nicer. So
yeah, I mean, mine started mainly with making like just random stuff for people.
it's
some
sweet.
of my own stuff, and then with this page, I just was like, man, until I can like put together a podcast and actually get shit running for that, I'm gonna just start making like basic graphics for these fighters, and if they like it and they accept the collaboration, then awesome. And so far, like I had Jamal Emmers accept it, I had Taco accept it, Ethan Ewing, the guy that's fighting Wellmaker that just stepped up on short notice.
Yep.
He accepted it. Slava Claus accepted it, and like my account, even though I don't have a lot of followers still on that page, my my insights, like I think I've touched 150,000 already in just like this last week.
Damn.
So like we're just like slowly, climbing. We got
Dude.
shared.
Yeah, keep it up.
If you go to Wellmaker's page right now, the video that he posted talking about the fight being canceled, like that was my graphic that I sent to him to approve, and he didn't approve it, but he still made a video with that shit in the background. So
yeah.
I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. Like just shit that I'm literally like, some of it I'll make on my computer, which that's like the better stuff, and then some of it I'm making on my phone, which is like the more basic, quick, simple things. But yeah, man, it's been going well so far. And Chris Coley, Padilla's coach, Taco's coach, he actually was like, yo, these pictures that you edited, he's like, send them to me with like no words or anything. I'm gonna blow them bitches up and put them up in the gym. So I was like, fuck yeah, like that would be dope.
That's very cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to know how to make a graphic. Like I really like the Home of Fight graphic for the Wellmaker Ewing fight, like that gold plated black background. It looks very professional, like UFC's very own graphic. So it'd be cool to like make work like that and do like lock slips, like Toad. Here's Toad's lock, here's Pap's lock. Like do collaborations like that. When I hit like my slips at the end of the night, and it's a spectacular finish or performance. I love taking that slip and stacking it with that video and adding some music and just kind of bopping out. And the fighters really enjoy that shit too. I've had, despite like not a high interaction rate, I've had like a lot of fighters interact with their tagged content that are like enjoying it, you know, and they're hitting me with a knuckle back or just quick conversation like, yo, appreciate the love, you know, stuff. So it's a way of promoting stock of people you enjoy too, help give them more public awareness. Like you're just doing socials for them, they love that shit. You're just help promoting them further. And to a degree, as a fighter, you have to want to sell yourself and grow and expand and collaborate and social. So there, it seems like Wallmaker and some of these guys, they know the blue collar hard worker that doesn't sit here all day doing this shit, and we all hold down jobs and careers to make this a fun side piece, but a hobby in life. So it's cool when a fighter recognizes that and gives back to us, and not the snowball, the same outlets like ESPN and people that you don't have to collaborate with them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, please still do it. It's helping you. You know what I mean? But here's this dude who just spent all night making a graphic for how excited they were for you to fight. Bop that shit. You know what I mean? Give that a shout out. You know what I mean?
I've been super fortunate because like helping Maddie and some of the guys at home a fight with some of their other pages.
Yeah.
I've been like learning kind of on the fly. Like I never was a graphic designer or a video editor.
Oh, that's I sincerely forgot that you are driving that shit over there with those guys a little bit.
Yeah, so thankfully working with them is like it's taught me so much on the job.
Damn.
Because like I've learned just like some of the videos for the On Paper Pod, Anthony Smith's podcast that they produce.
Yep.
I've been doing like a lot of the edits, the video clips and shit that come up, and the graphics with them, and just doing that for them has helped me so much with my own stuff that it's gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm doing their work, and then as soon as like it frees up and I have time, I'm just like working on something for my page, and it's just translating well. Like everything that's doing well over there, I'm starting to transfer and put into my own stuff as well. And it's just, you know, it's slowly snowballing into something that'll hopefully, like, I want my other page, the Corner Talk, to be like, I'm not obviously trying to make another Homa fight or another MMA Uncensored, but I still want it to be something that, like, has a little bit of validity in the MMA space that people are like, oh yeah, I see fucking Corner Talk graphics all the time. Like, yeah, I know that company, blah blah blah. So I'm trying to build it to that, and then hopefully here in the next couple of months get the actual podcast going, and just even if it's just talking about fights, because like I said, I don't want to base it completely on betting. I'm kind of doing that on this page already, so I kind of want that to be more just like the analysis side of things. Like, I think so-and-so is going to win this fight because of this, or, you know, just going over the big MMA topics at the moment. So hopefully that ball will get rolling here soon.
Well, yeah, no, anything I can do to help send over my way, I'd be happy to help share out like a story repost or anything like that. The new repost system is a thing that I try to do more of. I don't spend a lot of free time on IG anymore with my newest job and recently getting my vehicle situation fixed. I've been out catching up in life and doing other shit. I still play weekly disc golf is like my new, like, outside of MMA. I'm like in fucking love with learning new flight trajectories and different disc and different kind of throws. It's like being a fucking ninja out in the woods. Like when you throw a fucking forehand, you're just like fucking dumb shit like that, but it's addicting as shit.
When I was in high school, I played a little bit. My family, they were always like, "Oh, we don't have nothing to do. Let's go to the disc golf course or whatever."
It's the most random fucking hilarious thing. Like, I wrestled with some of these guys. I played football with some of these guys. Some of these guys don't do shit. They like to just be hermits and chill out and live at home playing video games. But everyone will go huck a fucking disc in the woods. It's like the most random fun thing ever. And when you hit a fucking ace or you hit the pin or you get like a crazy throw, it's such like a beautiful thing to witness. And everyone I play with, they fucking run it. Like, they just they're all killers. They shit on me. They're always like 10 under my scores. They're all fucking killers. So it's cool to like watch their shit and learn from them, because that's also like a big part of the game is all the skill gap. And all it takes is someone really good to be like, oh, do this differently. And then all of a sudden you're just like oh fuck, that's way better, you know. So
Yeah, I feel that same way with jujitsu. That's what I've been. That's what most of my free time has been
oh
going
yeah,
towards.
you
And
you do that
obviously,
with any like Moncano and Gilbert and all those guys from the pod? Like you talk about getting in with those guys and rolling with some of their team.
dude, I wish I lived closer to Florida, but because I'm in Virginia,
Ah,
I'm
got
like
ya.
I'm far away from everybody. And like the last time I went to the last Miami card, I was supposed to link up and go and like meet all of them, and then schedules just got so crazy that like I met them for like 5 minutes during the fights, and then that was it. It was just like, hey, nice to meet you. Oh yeah, it was nice to like actually meet you in person. Blah blah. And then after that, if I just haven't been able to go out there and do anything. But I'm hoping they're supposed to be doing like I think when they make like 50,000 followers for the Show Me the Money pod,
Yeah.
they're
Real,
gonna fly
real
some
quick,
people
just
out.
to catch up in chat, real quick. Fight Warren Framer, absolutely, man. That is like that's like a definite yes any day of the week. I got a Diego glove, but I'm trying to build out more physical fight worn because I have a lot of trading cards and I want to make shadow boxes with like my best favorite trading cards and fight worn equipment. And gloves are kind of expensive in volume, right? If you're trying to get like 10 good gloves, that's okay. You're spending good money. So, anyways, just to wrap up that rant, I'd love any proceeds you want to throw towards the Toad. You'll get big shout outs and I'll make beautiful ass art with my cards with them too. So thanks, man. But anyways, go ahead, Pap. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to recognize
Yeah, yeah, you're
the
all good.
really generous offer from Framer. So thanks, man.
My chat's not even updating. That's weird. But yeah, man, it's been a good time working with all those guys. They're all really cool, and obviously to see people like Nolan and Hey Jive, who are doing this more professionally as far as like actually making, a living off of it. It's really dope to see, their mindset behind
Yeah.
actually breaking down picks and.
Can I also just compliment how much I actually appreciate Nolan's like last year or so with his progression on his YouTube of just saying like, hey guys, I'm gonna keep this really short, simple, and sweet, but for every one fight, I'm gonna give you one bet that I like the most. And in doing that, he gets to do his sport prediction side of he's just going to list some pros and cons that got him thinking a certain way based on available props. And at the end of the day, that's all MMA betting is combining knowledge and like value that the bookies will give you. So I think he's really sharp in his content there. And then yeah, no, it's without a doubt. Maddie and Hey Jive, they're good storytellers and they're fun in their breakdowns. Um, so yeah, I think the Long Shot Show is kind of a fun little collaboration they do there too, and you'll see Nolan in the chat, you in the chat. Obviously, are you streaming that for them when you're helping with the Long Shot stream or any of that?
So I pretty much keep track of everybody's parlays that comes on the show.
Okay,
I keep like a log of that, and then I go through and I clip everything. I send it to one of the video editors that we have, and I post all their stuff.
nice.
And then I've been doing like recently their graphics and stuff for like all the parlays that they've been wanting to put out that are just like carousel posts and stuff. I've been doing the graphics. I don't do the actual parlays, but they just give me a parlay, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I'll make a graphic real quick and post that. So
Yeah, that's
that's
cool.
been.
So those parlays that are made, is that coming from like mutual agreement between like, hey, pretty much Maddie, Hey Jive, Nolan, everyone. I'm sure you get to weigh in on opinions too. It only further helps their confidence and a lock. If they're on a fence on an opinion of a fight. But is that kind of what that is, or does one person say no? This is the bet.
It honestly depends. So like some of the older posts that we haven't done them in like 2 or 3 weeks that were like the cycle parlays or knockout parlays, stuff like that. A lot of those I was taking basically the consensus from the show and like literally just looking at the most picks. So if somebody gives out, Brady by sub, I'm tallying all those, and then I'm having a list at the end that says like, all right, 20 people took Brady by sub. 20 people took Islam by sub.
Mm-hmm.
15 took Morales by KO. I'm taking those and I'm saying like, all right. the majority are on these picks. Let's make a parlay out of them, and then I'll post those. We actually hit one a couple weeks ago, and then we started trying other kind of forms of content, so we kind of stepped away from that. But the last week or two, the graphics and stuff that I've put out for them are one of the other guys that helps with the show. He also runs like some of the bigger social media accounts for them. He's just been sending me the plays, and I just make the graphic for them.
Well, dude, if you're not overbooked with all your talents and skills, how about I propose you settle with me a weekly gentleman's agreement on what a weekly MMA Toad lock of the week bet or parlay or something, a graphic that we just overlay new text each week. You show me what that graphic looks like, and yeah, I'd love to like help collaborate with your channel and do some networking with you there too, and also commission you to do what you like to do. So very cool.
Yeah, man.
I'd be down all day. So
yeah, I can make a pretty solid template and stuff for you as well
yeah,
if necessary.
send her on over. I already had a friend give me that goofy ass AI MMA Toad thing that I used in my little thing this last week. So I'm already goofing off with just dumb shit. So I just want to like take a bet and just kind of jam out, like I said, throw the video of the fight happening away, the bet saying here's what the Toad said would happen, and then some goofy ass shit and some music. I don't get fight content because I don't know how to avoid copy strike shit. So maybe that's one thing I could probably learn from you is like I feel like in these guys' YouTube video breakdowns every week, it's a lot of them doing like narration voiceovers to video with their own like channel music that can't be copy strike there. So that's an obvious thing. Get non-copyright music and you're golden. But the video flagging, when I got into this really early on, I have a giant green screen. I had a fucking insane gaming streaming setup. Like I was just gonna literally full screen me in the fight, and that's it. No other anything, just me in the octagon, and going small and enlarging, and just randomly moving the camera around as I talk about fights. You can't do that. You can't stream these fights. But I see all these content channels get away with it all day long, and I'm like, but how?
Yeah, so far, as far as like the stuff that I've helped with, the best thing is to cut out the little like heads up display at the bottom where it says like UFC and the time, and then it says like the names. 9 times out of 10, if you cut that out of the video, you shouldn't get copyright strike.
So you could just cut out the UFC's little UI and graphics, even then the corners like top left, top right of the logos there, crop it all out. Okay.
Yeah, just try not to show the UFC logo at all, or ESPN or whoever. And as long as you don't have that, and it's just like, the actual fight, because it's moving around so fast, they don't really pick up, because it's all AI generated as far as like the copyright strikes go.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't pick up like the UFC logo for like too long in the actual video itself, 9 times out of 10 you're fine. And try to like, I don't know if you'll get away with full fights, like 15-minute, 25-minute fights. I don't know if you'll be able to get away with the entire fight, but you should be able to get away with like 30-second to a minute clips. And if you do that, I know Instagram is really good at it, because for my own page, I got struck, I think once or twice. I just disputed it, and I was like, look, I looked up the law or whatever for copyright infringement for like the UFC, and I'm like, look, I'm not claiming this as my own. I'm literally just giving my analysis of this fight, and then they remove the strike and they let me post it. So sometimes you kind of have to fight back a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really tried to. It happened, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I don't want to get banned. I won't do that again, that's good to know. But I just know that YouTube and some social platforms are really shitty on that. So
yeah, YouTube is probably the worst, I'd say.
Yeah.
The rest of social media, they kind of they'll give you some room, but YouTube, it's like their AI just picks that shit up quickly, and they're also doing a lot of strikes on gambling content lately. Like if you even say anything remotely close to like recommending a specific bet or something, they will strike you. Like they'll warn you, like, no, this goes against our guidelines. So
yep.
that's another like kind of shitty situation as far as this whole betting thing and content goes, but there's ways around it.
For sure.
But I'm about to get off of here, man. I got some things to do before these fights
Yeah,
start. So.
likewise. No, I appreciate you hopping on and just catching up and showing some love on a lot of these fights. And again, I think you and I have some good agree to disagrees this week and how some of these fights go down. But you and I both agreed the ways they happen for the most part.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure, man.
a lot of that going on this week. Lot. I can't imagine too many people having the same exact picks this week. There's just a couple. It's either going this way or that way. So there's a lot of 50-50 fights. And so the odds just aren't always respecting that. And so I like to bet on the dog and just to finish in that case and just let my pick be different than my bet depending the payouts. But yeah, man. Well, enjoy the fucking card. Let me know how you do. And then, yeah, between the graphic and you're welcome to pop on Lethal Toad MMA for a week if you ever have time or something. Or Seven, do more work with him was great. Schmo, the gang, you're always welcome on this side of the river. And yeah, send my love to Home Fight. I think everyone's pretty sharp. I see in Discord Ding Bets. He's always active in his shit and like the work he does too. So you guys got a good group. If there's ever opportunity to apply, I'd like to be home of that one day with a little section in Discord where I just slap my own goofy shit in every week on like a Toad Lock and do that collaboration piece with your graphics. Would be really cool to do simultaneous to that. Really. Yeah,
Sure,
I think you guys are really really professional. Like probably one of the better groups in the space. So I think it's
I'm
cool.
at the bottom of the totem pole as far as like all the home fight stuff goes.
Yeah.
But, wherever I can help,
Well, if you ever need like an intern, to what you're doing, so I can free you up. All the stuff you're doing is like I could see myself being involved with a group and doing some of that kind of stuff. I definitely want to hop on the long shot stream as part of like my goals to having everything done early in the week so that Friday nights I'm more free to not do all my fucking running around and just be home for that, and pop on the stream.
For sure, bro. We would love to have you.
Yeah, I'll be on there more. I feel like there's a lot of sad, like nice long shots that I just didn't share, like coulda, woulda, shoulda. But
A lot of the time too, Maddie will invite people just to like more opportunities and stuff, maybe to the Discord. Like if you're calling in for the long shots only show and you're giving like a good play and it hits or something, or like you're consistently giving good hits or good reads. Like that's the type of stuff that'll get his attention as far as
okay, got him.
Trying to join the team or something.
I feel like right when I stopped appearing is when I started hitting the hardest.
Hey, that's how it happens.
Yeah. I'm like I said, the last 4 months I'm up like 50 units, so I'm hoping this card finishes me close to 60, and if I could get into 70 by the end of the year, I'd say I did all right. 70 unit year would be putting myself more applied to having a schedule and being sharper and doing even more than what I'm doing. So I like the trajectory. It's fun to do either way. That's the other part is like I've been technically streaming since 2011, gaming, different all kinds of things, but it's always fun to like apply yourself in a hobby where maybe you get something out of it too. You know what I mean? Maybe you have to collaborate and meet more people or go to more events. Like that's any true UFC's fans' dream is like, hey, let me shake the hand of one of my favorite fighters instead of being on the couch cheering them on. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm really fascinated with the quality of the work they're doing, but that collaboration that truly is, happening there with Burns and Moicano. And I hope it inspires more fighters to find that own group of theirs to help more people like us, you and I, like, change our lives too. But getting to help unfold as a fan, like some of our favorite fighters' opinions on other fights and why, like especially if they've trained with them, like Moicano and Burns, they get so like more so Burns, like he's very like he's gonna pick most of his team Brazil all day. That guy very good, he always starts off. Burns very like and then Moicano will either just shit dog the fighter right off the rip or try to behave himself and because Moicano could just say some goofy shit the whole stream. That's what's so funny about him. But
Yeah, for
he
sure.
he has that sincere side too, where he's very smart and right in the cases too. But look what Maddie. I don't. Was it Maddie's idea originally, the cycle parlay that he does, or was that like a group idea?
Yeah, he put that out himself like a while ago, and
Yeah.
then when he hit it, obviously it helped him promote it better. And then I think ESPN Bet even kind of took his concept and they kind of rolled with their own version of it. Ian Parker, I think, over there took that, and yeah, now it's like a big hit, man. People love it.
That's fucking cool. Yeah, no, I'd say it's probably one of the coolest like brand themes you could say for Homa Fight. It's like, hey, this is our cycle, because that's like your slot machine in MMA, and you can turn like $20 into some really crazy money. I hit with you guys too, doing it real hard that one time. I think it was like Hey Jive shared it, but it was like a 5-leg, and I liked all of it until it got to Randy Brown by round 1, because I respect how tough Dalby was. So I liked the prop round 1-2 combo, so I did that. And then when it hit and theirs all fell, Hey Jives messaged me and goes, smart. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I really liked the round 2, but then I cashed out because the next fight was Michel Pereira to win, and he comes out dancing and cartwheeling, and I'm like, I already hate this fucker's cardio so much, and he's gonna come out dancing like a fucking clown. And I had a cash out opportunity at like $1,100, and it was a $10 bet. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna cash out at. I'm cashing out at 11 because I don't like the last 2 legs, but because they were such
cash out too.
They were such moonshots. It was a 5-legger, and the first 3 gave me a cash out 1,100. If all 5 legs hit, it was 120K. And I didn't like the last 2 legs, but that's what boosted the fuck out of the bet. So I told myself, I'm gonna play this like a 3-leg and cash out, and I'm gonna use that to boost it, because I did the math and it paid more than me doing a 3-leg of the bet that I liked initially, the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you see what I'm saying? That got me thinking in a whole new way. Earlier on the card, take your actual confident ones, and then find on the main card your biggest moonshots and time your cash out.
Yeah.
That's
I do that a lot.
That's a weird new thing for me I just learned in the last year that helped some cash flow with my
I'll
unit.
do that, or like my last leg of a parlay like that will usually be like the favorite of the main event.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that I'm like 50-50 on. And then once it gets to that last leg, I just hedge, because I'm like, well, damn, the payout is, 25 or 50 to, 500, 600 or 1,000 or whatever it is. And then I just go ahead and I put, my hedge on the dog. And now I'm like guaranteeing that money. Granted, I know Maddie hates hedging, but it's
Yeah.
like, man, I don't have the cash flow you have, all right? I'm going to take my guaranteed money.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. I don't know how it works with trying to find affiliate groups, but more so having like an affiliate Bet US or whatever the bookie promo is, and have like as like a sharp lock hitter or better and promoter for their platform to either make money with me or lose it with me. Get like a bonus bet every week. I think if you're spending 300 every week consistently ish in prop potential, then you're probably worthy of like at least a $50 bonus on the house, in my opinion, per ratio. As you want to go up to a Maddie level, where yeah, I would hope if Maddie's doing a $1,500 bet, the bookie maybe gave him like a $500 promo and something like the free bet on for making socials, plugging people to them. It's a handshake. It's gotta be recognized at a financial level. So I don't have any like sponsors per se, because FanDuel doesn't seem to give a fuck about MMA. But yeah, I would like to apply to an affiliate with locks that are consistent. If I give you 4 locks in a month and all 4 hit, and then I gave you like 5 sub locks, so that's 20 a month, and I'm say 15 of 20, I think at that level you have to respect and say, okay, then this guy deserves an affiliation of a sort to promote it and then bring people in, because guess what? They're gonna make all kinds of other bets too on their own, and that shit loses money big time. So
Yeah, it's all about popularity. They like
yeah,
to see that you have numbers. If you have numbers, 9 times out of 10, they'll work with you and make you an affiliate. It's just getting that initial following, to
yeah.
bring in people, bring eyes to their product.
I've been approached by people, but it's been based on like regions of the world and various cryptocurrency types that I'm just like, nah, I'm okay, you know, that I wasn't like all in, but it seemed like very like low pop, like Portuguese and couple European and Asian crypto based things. I'm like, I'm all set. Like, you guys, it's got to be a worldwide currency or something that like we're, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seemed like really scuffed. Like, what in the fuck do I even spend that on? Like, what is this virtual dog shit you're trying to give me? And am I even eligible? And it's like bilingual shit. I'm like, no, I speak English. That's all I do. Like, you guys can translate me with some shitty narrator or dub me or some shit with AI. But anyways, yeah, I've been looking for a group. I would love to do the We Want Picks, but Michigan can't do that, unfortunately. I think I would fuck up We Want Picks just in the way that you build those out, like those little parlays of methods and strikes and just takedowns. It'd be very easy to build like a 10 leg that had like a good fucking sweat. I feel some of it so safe, you know. Think about
I've never used their platform, but
think about how many props are out there for like a neg 100 takedown that was like an obvious one in a fight. Like Leon, like right now, Leon Edwards to win with at least one takedown. Of course. What did he do? Walk out and flash fucking knockout Protez? Protez probably scared him, and Edwards wrestled him down. That's how you won the fight. So, like, people don't ever talk those props or look at those props. But if I was building lock of the week, I look at those kind of things because it's like that's a very clear path to victory if the fight even happened at all a certain way. You know what I mean? At a neg 100, do you truly believe Leon wins? Because that needs to probably be in place, unless you're getting like better value with a method that you're confident. Like, what's Leon's decision? But he could also get a late finish, and then there goes your fucking shit. You're better off money line. It's got to have good value, but yeah, man, I look forward to collaborating with you more in the future, and send the guys my high regards. I don't really spend as much time on the socials as I was.
Will do, man.
But you guys, anytime I do, the algorithm does it automatically. I get home a fight everywhere, so you guys are killing it, and it's cool to see. Big fan of everybody too. Corey's cool, so yeah, everyone's cool over there.
Yeah, I have to go post some stuff for them right now, actually. So that's what I'm about to go do.
Yes, yeah, send them my love. Tell them I'm still a fan. I still watch.
For sure, bro.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, good seeing you, man. Much love.
Right,
Enjoy the fights. All right, peace.
You as well.
Yep, peace. UFC 322. Could this card surpass the machine? I think that's gonna wrap it up for the stream, guys. I'm gonna make a graphic right now. I'm working on getting posted IG, and then I'm gonna pack up the stream and try to stream from both my phone and my tablet. So we'll see. Hey guys.